Welcome everybody to Call of Duty Challenges. It's time for the final season of Challenges Elite here for Call of Duty Vanguard. My name's Infinity, joined by Proper on the casting desk for all of today's action. Andy, it feels like it's been an age since we've got to cast Call of Duty together. It's time to close out the season.
I was really looking forward to today. I just missed your beautiful voice in my ear holes, man. It's great to be back yet for the final season of Challengers Elite Season 4. Should be a good one.
Yeah, indeed it should. Now, we're going to kick things off today, as always, with the European region. And things are pretty interesting over here in the land of Europe, as, we've got a couple of new teams joining in for Elite for Season 4. We're not going to see those just yet. We're kicking off the stream today with Team Invincibles versus Rocker Academy. Two teams in, I would actually say, relatively similar positions. I mean, to be honest, I think we could probably say after the Toronto Open, Andy, most of the European teams are in the same spot at the moment, which is on the path to redemption.
Yeah, the path to redemption to make sure that they prove to the rest of the world that they're obviously a force to be reckoned with. Nobody from Europe ended up qualifying to be in top eight, which it was just insane. I remember being there at Toronto, just simply mind blowing that I wasn't going to see any European teams represented in top eight. But they did lose to some pretty impressive teams along the way. These two teams here, specifically from Toronto, they both placed top 12.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that was a shocking thing, I think, for pretty much everybody, right, Andy? The fact that obviously, these teams, especially when you look at only, a couple months prior, we had the Minnesota Open and the Europe dominated the top three effectively, even though, of course, we had Toronto Ultra NA winning the event. That doesn't really count because obviously two European players. But regardless, I digress. The point is, Europe performed a lot better in the first round of the season. And I think the second was rather disappointing for everybody coming over I was going to say the States, but it wasn't actually the States. It was Canada for that event. Nonetheless, we're here now in Season 3, Invincibles and Rocker Academy back at it once again, facing off for what would be the fifth time this season, I believe, at least from an Elite perspective. Should be an interesting one for sure. I think we should probably start the conversation before we get into the team specifically with the maps for this best of five. We're going to be kicking things off here on Bicage Hardpoint. Moving forward, we've got a Desert Siege Search and Destroy. Berlin Control for the control in the series, and then to close things out is we need them Berlin Hardpoint and Bicage Search and Destroy. So if you're a Berlin and Bicage fan, well, this is a pretty good map set for you.
Yeah, or if you're just a fan of explosive SMG gameplay as well. I mean, that's something we could always end up talking about because it also can tour guide the conversation immediately into this Rocker Academy roster that some of their biggest woes coming away from Season 3 of the Elite coming into Season 4 was that roster change. How effective was it
Yeah.
with Lucky dropping away from the main AR role, then going into picking up the secondary submachine gun with Young Real, which we know it has been absolutely lights out for this team ever since joining, but ever since moving away from Journey, who is now playing on AIM Esports, and having Sukri come in to play the mid AR, this team has definitely had a lot more question marks. Obviously, a lot of answers did come through as they still qualified for playoffs at the end of Season 3 of the Elite. But I'm personally still on the page to be able to see how much more value Lucky's going to be able to be finding for themselves walking away from the Toronto Open a few weeks ago into Season 4 of the Elite with that SMG in hand.
I still think there are a lot of questions around this team, right? Around that change, and I think you and I we had so many questions about how it would look, and of course we got an entire Elite season to kind of judge where this Rocker Academy team is actually at now with the change. I'll be honest, I'm one for controversial takes. I love it. I love riling up the
True.
fans. So I'm going to frustrate Rocker Academy fans a little bit here and say I still do not think we've seen the fruits of this change just yet. I think they've still got a long way to go. Not to say they can't get to that point, and not to say that wouldn't happen this season. I just still don't think it has happened just yet. However, they go up against an Invincibles roster, which, as we said when we were talking about them in Season 3, Andy, this is the best they have looked since that Season 1 performance where they managed to get top 3.
Yeah, that's absolutely the case, right? I mean, Invincibles used to play underneath the banner of the originals when they were still playing with Furious on the roster, where they were still able to obviously make it to be top three at the end of Season 1 of the Elite. And there's always been a certain wrench into the system. Like, how do you fill the shoes of Furious? We're constantly seeing how much value they still bring to Toronto Ultra Academy EU. But regardless of the amount of the core three of this team for the Invincibles, you really do truly feel like that they have been kind of scratching at the surface to be able to find their stride, to be able to really find that fourth that actually works for them. So insert Nolson coming back into the scene. And obviously they did not have the outcome that they were looking for, albeit not terrible. 4-3 is not a god-awful position to be at. At least you
Right.
didn't get completely shut out in Season 3 of the Elite. But they did start to show their strides. Some also improvements were able to be shown 2 weeks ago in Toronto for that Open. And you also take a look at what they've been able to do through the qualifier. I would say pretty darn cleanly is how they ended up getting through just about everything. They had at least one final test going up that Katana Gaming roster, which they were also able to win. This team, Search and Destroy, you truly do feel like is going to continue to boast amount of success for them, and something that they're going to have to lean on through the season of the Elite.
It quite clearly is something that they want to focus on, right? I think they made that clear, with how well they performed during the qualifier in Search and Destroy. I think, we need to see more of that coming out from them today. And to be fair, I think, when it comes to Rocker Academy, if you're going to be any team in Search and Destroy, Rocker Academy are probably that team, because on the flip side of that conversation, we have a team who Search and Destroy, I think, was quite clearly affected by that aforementioned change. They just didn't look as strong in Search and Destroy. Although I will say, as I remember it, I think they started to pick things up towards the end of the Elite season in that game mode. So we'll see whether those kind of changes have continued to pull through here towards Season 4. Who knows? But I do want to talk about kind of the game modes here that we have in our best of 5 very quickly, because of course we have seen a lot of these two teams over the last year or so. And something that Rocker Academy were very good at is Hardpoint. Last season, though, again, it really felt like the change had kind of affected the dominance in that game mode.
Yeah, I mean, specifically for Rocker Academy walking away from Hardpoint, Berlin Hardpoint was something we
Yeah.
always ended up talking about from Season 2 going into Season 3, and hell, you can even add Season 1 to this as well, is that everybody just needed to start vetoing the Berlin Hardpoint against Rocker Academy because they were so damn good at it. But then you insert this roster change and things starting to slip up. It's almost like a pace differential that you would truly feel like, Real, since the beginning of the year, always having that confident duo in Journey side by side with them, trying to make these coordinated pinches, try to go for these double challenges. You really do feel like that Lucky has been to have to force themselves in towards this game plan that is that I have to get in their face, where we have seen Lucky previously find a lot more value watching those longer lines of sight. And it's something that you and I have honestly talked about that on a map like Gavutu even, which is map, which honestly isn't even in our map set. It got completely vetoed away. It was really good for Rocker Academy going into Season 3 of the Elite. They finished 2-1 on it, but that's because they could boast triple AR, where Real could just be on that mainstay SMG. So Hardpoint finishing off 8-8, even standard as it may, beating for Rocker Academy at the end of Season 3 of the Elite. Definitely not the same amount of success that they were able to find for themselves in previous seasons, sure, but you really do feel like that in between all of the time that they spent from Season 3 going through Toronto Open, the scrim time from this previous week, knowing what they have to do for themselves to have a great end of the season here, you truly do feel like it has to start and stop with maps 1 and 4.
Indeed it does. Right, well, map number 1 is about to get underway between these two teams. Very quickly, we can talk about the records for these two teams in this map mode combination. It is going to be Bacage Hardpoint that kicked things off in the series, and I think from at least a kind of a win-loss perspective, it is abundantly clear that this is actually a very good map mode combination for Invincibles. They are 3-1 in this one from Season 3 again. I don't think we've got any stats to show you guys from Toronto, at least to talk about from Toronto, but from a Season 3 perspective, Invincibles very good at this. Rocker Academy, they didn't actually win this, and they played it thrice.
Yeah, 0-3 overall. The Bocage Hardpoint, not exactly a comfort situation. Again, it's just that pace issue. You truly feel like not saying that you can't play a little bit more methodical. We see teams like even like Atlanta FaZe up at the CDL level get away with this double AR type of setup, but
Yeah.
breaking hardpoints never exactly the easiest thing for that Rocker Academy, and it was very apparent in specifically their loss versus AIM Esports, where they only lost by 18 points. They were able to hold off, where this team for the Invincibles absolutely thrive in the chaos. That's how they were able to walk away with, what was it, a 12-point win over Soleo Signs back in Season 3.
Yeah, and I think, when we were talking about Rocker Academy and their performance on this map mode combination, you can't talk about it without talking about the role swap again. How much of a difference has that made? Lucky, we've been thinking about him supposedly moving into that main SMG role. Although, starting this hard point, it looks like he's going to be running the auto off the rip.
Yeah, it's something that we talked about at the end of Season 3, right? Is that when you take a look at this roster, you do have Metals on there, who has been a very traditional flex. I would love to see more SMG-specific gameplay out of Metals, but as we start things off, on the unfavored side will be the Invincibles, winning gunfights pretty darn handily. Nolson and Nile, both on the 3.
I like this color scheme, by the way. Whoever decided we're going to use these colors today for Invincibles, really love it. It's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Absolutely great choice from our observers. Regardless, though, straight towards this one we go. And Invincibles already looking to fight for P2 spawns. Nicely done from Nile, who is now on 5 in a row. And Nolson 4 as well. Nile just 1 kill away from the glide bomb, will be shut down there, so that is an opportunity that will pass him by. But nonetheless, the threat is far from averted. If you're Rocker Academy, you still have these players from Invincible to deal with. Rafi, one of those players, does get shut down by Metals inside tin, so now a potential opportunity here for Rocker Academy. They should continue to spawn by that riverside.
It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be able to turn that into an abundance of time, though. I mean, you can still see that Nile was finessing for so much hardpoint time from the front of the hardpoint itself. Rocker Academy continuously putting themselves inside the barn, kind of just slowly suppressing them out from those positions. Those longer lines of sight can no longer be held, so now Rocker can get themselves in for some time. Also being able to deal with Nelson, trying to work a little bit of flank inside of barn, should be meaning that they can continue to build this lead, or this deficit down. This is just about 10 seconds.
Indeed, Rocker Academy looking for that scrap time, as you say. They should be able to basically even things up at the back of that one, but I'm more intrigued as to how this next rotation over towards Grandma's will go. Invincibles are technically speaking the first team to touch, so we'll see how quickly Rocker Academy are able to break on through. Grad, who has been a force for Invincibles, one of their top performing players over the last couple of seasons of Challengers Elite. Now looking to get some of these roaming gunfights, but Metals, can he disrupt this from the front? Has some support from the street side, but that player will end up falling. So now Metals kind of has to do this all on his own, but actually has support from Real from a long range. Those kills come through, and Rocker Academy able to burst on towards the hard point.
So reading just where all Invincibles are located at, Nile was only able to find one inside of Castle before Metals ends up dipping back out to deal with them. You still have these close spawns for Invincibles, but again, this spawn trap situation is a dastardly one, especially when you're looking at the setup. But Nolson's able to slip all the way through. He's going to be able to get a free kill from Real in from behind. That's going to force a little bit of a haywire type situation that Rocker Academy needs to try to deal with all these different oppositions on the multiple different openings and simply get overwhelmed. Invincibles finally break on in. We're going to have just, again, about a dead even game unless Rocker Academy contests for all this time.
Lucky's still going for it. He wants a slice of this time. On 5 in a row, by the way, so he would do well to grab this glide bomb if he can get it done. There's already been a couple of streaks that have been averted so far in this game. For Lucky to get those would be a real stamp on this one for Rocker Academy. But now as we turn our attention over towards the rotation, the gunfight's already starting to go down in this one. Sukri trying to keep an eye on this trench area of the map and doing a really good job at that. That's his second kill here as Invincibles look to make their way across the map. And there is a real opportunity here for Rocker Academy to get a ton of time on this hill if they cut the map correctly. And that might well be happening Real. When this man gets heated up, there will be some problems for Invincibles.
Yeah, there sure will. We'll try to go at least to slide to the other side. Nile will cut them down. Real, 13-7, by the way. Quick as you like it, playing as aggressive is meeting the pace currently by Nile on the opposite side, 15-8. And that's how you do turn a lot of time in from P4. You just have roaming SMGs just cutting players down off the rotation from their spawn. But Invincible's able to work their way back in. Just got to be able to win a couple more gunfights. Nile inside the hard point doing quite well for themselves. 42 seconds worth of hill time on a 3-3, 17-8, as I was talking about earlier. Rocker Academy just got to chalk it, set themselves up for 5.
There is a pinch being played here from Invincibles. Rafi in the back line has quite a lot to do, but doesn't check that left-hand corner, and that's so unfortunate there. Sukri will take him out, so Invincibles now, for them, they're going to continue to spawn around the back line here, and now have to fight this one from this side of the map. Rocker Academy should be well aware of that fact. Now I'll try to take a pot shot at the teammate. That will not connect, fortunately for him, but Brad will finish off Nolson anyway, so it's all good. Invincibles now inside the hard point. Rocker Academy, though, they're not going to let this one go easily, and to be fair, Sukri has so much space here to do whatever he wants.
So much space, but what a heads-up kill that happens off-screen there from Nolson just taking down Sukri. And Nolson in a 1v6 as it may be, having to deal with both Grad and Nile. Trying to work his way back inside P5. Pinstripe kill feed also completely consume the left side of the screen. Means that the hardpoint will be mostly vacated for at least some game clock time, but I'll tell you this much, Brody. I think Rocker Academy have done a great job through the first set of hardpoints, walking away from P1 and P2 as well, battling their way back in from a very steep deficit. The Invincibles we're looking at, really tipping your hat to what Lucky has been able to bring to the table. Partner that with how Real has been playing throughout the entirety of this map. Invincibles have really had no answer for these initial 20s and 30s that Rocker have been setting up for themselves because of kill feeds like that. SMGs just keep on lighting things up. It gives so much space for Rocker Academy to turn it into time.
And that has again been the conversation. It was one of the conversation points towards the end of season 3, right? Sucre really starting to settle in towards that AR role, and Real stepping up to the plate time and time again. And we're seeing it here in map number 1 in this best of 5. And I think one of the more worrying points in time at the moment for Invincibles is the fact that they are now 50 points down in this game. And Andy, you and I, we've watched so many Bacage hard points at this point in the season. Probably too many to count at this point, to be honest. You know that this kind of scoreline, it's really hard to come back from, but that's a good start coming out from Invincibles. They get the kills necessary to hold on towards the next rotation towards P2. And as we know, again, this is a hard point where you can get a ton of time.
Yeah, you absolutely can, because again, you have players like Rad that is pushing up so far forward, but there's already players that have already slipped past the A plat and have already completely flanked over by the riverbed as well, but they are reading it. Are the Invincibles? It just comes down to, can you win the gunfights? And inside of Barn, Real will strike. That last kill was so necessary because now Rocker Academy, they have the close-in spawns. Grad on a 4, cannot find anything else. Rocker Academy will be able to break in for the back 30.
And Real already starting to heat up here. That's 2 in a row. Playing his life inside Grandma's, looking to disrupt the last couple of players from Invincibles being sent burrowing towards the hard point. 500 round now for Real, looking for number 6. He will get it. Number 7 would be a glide bomb,
Wow.
and there it is from Real, who decimates the competition. And that right there might well be a seriously damaging moment in this game. Not only did Rocker Academy break an important hard point from Invincibles, but now you have a glide bomb to work with, a get out of jail free card that Invincibles, they have to work up against.
I mean, you would almost assume that you're going to call this in going in for P3. You want to be able to offset these spawns, keep them all trapped. You stun, nade, get yourself inside Grandma's, but Rocker Academy not going to go for it. They're just going to try to brute force their way through the main road where Rafi just lines up too. And be able to get those close, stable spawns. But even more so than that, this is an abominable setup when you're looking at it for the Invincibles. Keep in mind, they absolutely do need this. They're still down by 50 points or so. Real still trying to work their way in towards the back, and Invincibles push too far forward. So now the hedge spawns are fully there for Rocker Academy.
50 points up here are Rocker Academy. Invincibles are going to fight their way back on through, and there is absolutely a path. Grad on 5 in a row, Nile on 3. If they can earn some streaks, it would be a way back into this game. Just a quick shout out while we've got it on the picture-in-picture of Wobbabobs going up against Dizzy's Rascals. An important win, I think, early on in Season 4 of Challengers Elite here in Europe. We'll keep you guys updated with what happens on that one as it progresses. But back towards this game now, and we were talking about Invincibles perhaps finding their way back into this one. Again, another important moment in this game if they want to get it done.
Yeah, and now you just have to continue to just survive within the mixiness. Read off all these nades. Lucky drop down to 28 HP. Look at all they prone. The regen's going to be able to get off. Nile can't find that kill, and that could be a crucial one to open up this A lane and starting to actually manifest itself. Rafi, what a big two-piece that truly was. This is for the Invincibles' sanity's sake. You're going to be able to lock down this initial 20, but you need to win more gunfights. You need more time.
I'll tell you what, this has been a good comeback from Invincibles to at least make this game plausible, but is it slightly out of reach as Rocker Academy able to find their way on through? Luck and Real picking up a couple of kills. Grad from the backline now. Nile also up to back here for the Invincibles roster, but Nile will falter, and now the Invincibles continuing to spawn towards that tin side. Rocker Academy, well aware of that fact, will continue to L-trigger down that lane. And every single second they sit in this hard point, another point on the board, another point between them and the Invincibles. And this scoreline, once again, starting to feel a little bit more out of reach here for this Invincibles side. But back towards this rotation towards Willow Tree we go. Rocker Academy, the leader's advantage here means they can just rotate pretty comfortably, and in comes this streak from Real.
Glide bomb's getting it called in. Should be communicated to their players inside of Grandma's. Actually hooks that one in through the front door. Will take down Grad. This is immediate information for Rocker Academy where they need to be looking at. You can cover all of your flank, but this push through the riverbed needs to be dealt with. Rafi has been on a heater for the past few lives. He's able to almost have a good look at kill number 30, but that's all they're going to be able to find is kill number 29. Sucre will fall, but Real, again, has been lights out. He's up to kill number 35, Brody. And there was at one point where I said that he's meaning pace for Nile. It really feels like the past, I don't know, like 15 engagements, Real can simply do no wrong, but Invincible slide back in. A required break was having to come through. They will be able to find it there, but that leader's advantage again for Rocker Academy. You can pick and choose. You try to finesse for some more scrap time, get yourself closer towards 250. You probably won't be able to close it on P1, but you're going to make Invincibles work for it.
Just 25 seconds now. All that Rocker Academy desire to close out map number 1. And this one, and that most certainly will help, won't it? Real consistently on fire. He's like Ghost Rider here in this game, looking for kill number 4. Will get shut down over towards the scrap time, but again, just 14 points, all they need. The kill feed is theirs. The time might as well be 2, as Metals with the advanced positioning in towards Grandma's looking to put the final nail in this one. Can he get it done? There's Nile down for the count. One player has slipped right past him. That's Rafi up top in Grandma's, but no matter, because there's a player there to deal with it. Just 2 points away now, just 2 kills away, getting inside the hardpoint. Metals get it done, and with Flare as well.
All right, Metals, see you. A nasty little 2-piece there to be able to find the last 2 points. And again, that kind of sets up its same familiarity from what we saw. Rocker Academy boasts about 40 points off of P4. It is so hard to be able to do that, but when you have SMGs that are just roaming, playing corners like what we saw both from Metals and Real there at the very end, yeah, you can turn P4 or P1 into an absolute Goliath amount of time.
You can. Back over towards that game, though. We set it up in the picture-in-picture. It's a Wobbabobs going up against Dizzy's Rascals. And, you know, Andy, I love the fact that they called themselves a Wobbabobs because they just knew that it's the exact kind of name that would slip me up on casting.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you've nailed it both times already, so,
the only 2 times it's going to happen, mate.
It's a Wobbabobs roster, though. I mean, able to at least confirm that they're going to be finding themselves into Elite Season 4 by way of the upper bracket, the qualification bracket. Not meet Dizzy's Rascals, so they did beat Soleo Signs. You know, Dizzy's Rascals having to get it done also against Soleo Signs, but in the elimination bracket. I think this one's going to be a very good matchup. We see Mythics come in towards Dizzy's Rascals, get to see the great return of Brezzy to European Call of Duty, but here on Berlin Hardpoint through his second set of hardpoints, Dizzy's Rascals trying to at least get themselves back in for some contested time. We'll have Dizzy trying to at least finesse over by this catwalk area, but it's about all they're going to be able to find for themselves. Got to take a look at rotation over towards 2.
Alrighty, well, Wobbabobs right now slowly in the lead in this one, about 20 points away here. Dizzy's Rascals, though, they're slowly creeping their way back into this one, and Henry picking up a couple of kills. That will most certainly help here, as Dizzy's Rascals will be the first team to touch on towards the mailroom hardpoint. And this is not a good position, I think, for a Wobbabobs to be in. Jackster looking to change all of that with a push-through train. Also has Cobra in tow, another new addition to this lineup. And in from the front they come. Jackster looking for 2, looking for 3. Does actually get shut down. Henry, Mythics, and Connor, all with kills to their name. Cobra, the last one left alive, and he'll only get 1 before being picked back right off. So, Wobbabobs, their initial push here does get shut down.
Been a lot of contested time here on 2. Nobody really getting a lot of control of that B lane, huh? Moment that anybody tries to look past that statue side, let trades start coming through. Mythics off screen is able to actually find 3, and that'll be a great catalyst to be able to work their way back in for some scrap time. Brezzy trying to at least rectify this issue, and would you definitely require a couple kills if you're a Wobbabobs, because Dizzy's Rascals coming through the second set so far, Brody, have been almost unanswered with the amount of time they've been able to find for themselves. It's really just about like 50 to about 20 since the second set of hardpoints have started coming all the way through. Now looking at this rotation over towards 3, Henry doing a great job of just cutting down reinforcements through the middle of the map. You also have at least one player watching this longer line of sight. It's BB Connor, and what a great kill to find for themselves, as Cobra was able to find their way in, coordinate this pinch along with Brezzy. That could have been a broken hardpoint.
Well, it is going to be Dizzy's Rascals here first, and they're going to want a ton of time off the back of this hardpoint. They took a fair amount of time away from Wobbabobs on the last one. This would be a game-opening hardpoint if they could get it done. But Henry in through the window, takes down Cobra, Abuser, and Brezzy to boot. Nicely done here from Henry. That's 3, 4 in a row for him. Dizzy on the hardpoint as well, takes down the stray player in Chaxter. And so far, so good for Dizzy's Rascals. Pretty much every single second has gone their way off the back of the lobby hardpoint. And now, this entire game really feels like it's blown wide open. And Andy, you got to think, right, when we jumped into this game at Wobbabobs, they had a lead.
Yeah, Brody, you remember when I talked about how it was about like 50 to 20 coming away and towards the second set of hardpoints? The Wobbabobs have only found themselves about 30 points since the second set of hardpoints. Dizzy's Rascals have put on about a massive 106. Really do feel like it's a lot from this guy on your screen right here. Mythics has been absolutely piecing together multi-kill after multi-kill. That helps out Henry watching a lot of the crosses. Break required. Wobbabobs, nades need to be better, but Dizzy's Rascals are the ones that are ringing on all the way true. Now, those close spawns might be threatened here. As you can see, Henry's already in the upper warehouse.
What can Henry do here in this position? How damaging can he be to the defensive line for a Wobbabobs? I don't think he really needs to do much, to be honest. His teammates from the front are doing enough damage by themselves. BB Connor somehow still playing his life perfectly and has the support of Mythics. In close proximity, there is just now one player from Wobblebobs that you need to deal with. It's Cobra in the backline. He has been shut down, and that's another set of scrap time here that looks to go Dizzy's Rascals' way. They are so close to walking away with a map #1 victory here. They've just got to take a few more seconds off the back of this next hard point.
Yep, they really do. You already have Henry again, just running the routes. Looking to be annoying, and Cobra's going to run straight into him. That's going to immediately just throw all of the Wubbabubs into a little bit of a tizzy. Where do they spawn? All the way up by water, up in between the side of the warehouse as well. Now it's Dizzy's Rascals on the favorite side of the map, but they don't have the gunfights required to be able to get themselves top third of Vale. Wubbabubs will be in for the time.
Wobblebobs are here first. Henry, though, in from behind. They haven't spotted him out just yet. It's time to do damage. Oh, no! He gets the first kill versus Cobra, but the betrayal from BB Connor will take him down. Wobblebobs will hold for the moment. But the next challenge for this Wobblebobs roster is the fact that the rotation is currently not theirs. Dizzy's Rascals only realistically need to hold this one once.
He starts sending people away. Again, Henry. He's so back here on a 5. What a read. Jackson has such a massive kill to find for themselves because it at least keeps their flank secure. Now they're going to be setting themselves up to almost break from the front. Not unless player number 7, he's Shaxter. He's actually electing to come in through Secret. This is going to be a one-dimensional hit through the front.
Here it comes. Can they get it done? Cobra, ex-Signs player, looking to play his life perfectly. Shots through the wall, but none of them are going to connect. So now you need to just go. You cannot afford to just take free fire in towards the hardpoint. Abuser next up to back. Can he do anything? Can Jaxter do anything? No, they can't. Just one more player. Bressy almost snaps for the save, but he does get shut down. And Dizzy's Rascals there. They're going to walk away with the map #1 victory.
And again, that's actually just absurd. The amount of time when we hopped into this match fully, we saw that Wubbabubs had what, about like a 40-point lead or so going in towards P1 for a second set of rotations. Dizzy's Rascals through 3 different hard points, strung together about 108 and denied so much time away from a Wubbabubs where they were only allowed to find 20. Just an insane streak of hard points coming through in that set.
Well, over towards Search and Destroy we go. Last time we checked in with Rocker Academy and Invincibles, it was Rocker victory on map #1. Down towards the Search and Destroy. We're on board with the sniper rifle POV of Sukri. Does get pressured out of that tower position. A key moment here, you have to imagine, for Invincibles on the offense, but I don't think they quite expected Lucky to get so aggressive.
3v2. Well, now just the one left of Grad. Yeah, the aggression from Lucky actually pays off. Walks away with 2 kills from this round. What can Grad do? This is going to be really tight timing. I mean, you really do feel like that this round is all but lost. The moment that Lucky checks the flank, he will see Grad, but there's just not enough time to be able to find these 2 kills. Has to recover the bomb at the same time. Metal's just going to throw shoulders. Yeah, you just run at this point. Wait, you can run at him? Sure. Yeah, that also works. All right. Yeah, I mean, sure. Why not? Yeah, you can just run away, exhaust the time, or you can just, challenge him. You have numbers. Screw it, why not? But mostly just playing longer lines of sight, just finding damage, and then just the opportunity. I mean, there had to have been a stun you would truly feel like to clear Lucky's way, to not find anything up close. Then Lucky just pushes that envelope so much further and walks away with those 2 kills. Crucial for the round.
Well, Rocker Academy going to walk away with the round victory there in round #2. Switching back over towards Invincibles in the defense here for round #3. Nades being thrown over. Try and catch Rocker Academy off guard before they can reach the university. Not going to catch anybody off guard just yet. So Rocker Academy, at the very least, I think those nades, all of those utility being thrown over Uni, has kind of halted them for the moment. They just want to take this one slow. Get picked, then get moving.
Metal's looking to play entry here as well. Find that this building is all but clear. Fires on the outsides, but nobody upstairs. Nobody to threaten Metal's in that position. But you try to push all the way through because you know that your teammates are trying to commit over towards this AS&D. Real with the bomb throwing shoulders. Should be more than aware there's one up top, and now he gets the read on Grad down low.
And again, it's this information that's being gained right now from Invincibles. They're more than happy to just sit here, rest on their laurels, but for how long, as Nile will end up falling. Metals might well be the playmaker in this round. If he gets Raffi, that'll be huge, but does get shut down. And again, this will slow up the push. And at this point, you don't really have much time to work with. Grad really starting to get aggressive in this one. 2v2 now. The bomb is down. Rocker Academy, they still have to retrieve it and get it down on one of these sites. But look at Raffi. He's under pressure at the moment inside the point, but it doesn't matter. Raffi wins the 1v1 anyway. And now Lucky left up 1v2. 10 seconds remaining. Sniper rifle in hand. He gets the hit marker, but that is all he's going to get. It's all but a tease. A burger at the end of the road. Well, Invincibles win the round. And again, I just don't think Rocker Academy could quite get anything going in that round.
No, it's interesting, isn't it? Because when you have Metals fighting that first blood up top on the tower, the immediate call was for Real to then chow Grad down low, right? But then Grad starts fighting a lot of damage on Real, forces him back inside the broken train car, and then, well, Grad just pushes it all the way through, knowing that that line of sight was going to be contested from Metals from behind. So Rafi has to then give up over by the BS&D, come help things out, and reinforce that site. And the collapse was absolutely sublime for the Invincibles to be able to take that defensive round. Now for their offense, nice nade. It's actually going to force the position, and Metals has to leave, and we'll die to Rafi for first.
Nice nade check, as you say, from Nile. That'll open up this round for Invincibles. They get this bomb down. Rocker Academy will have a tough time on the retake, even tougher now as Sukri does fall. Lucky going to pick up the auto there of his teammate. Will be a lot more useful now in this position, but nonetheless, a 2 versus 4, it's almost impossible to pull off, isn't it? Lucky, though, he's done some magical things in this season thus far. Will get shut down before he's even looking at a 1v4 there.
Really, that first blood, isn't it? Because, I mean, that first blood comes through, Metals' position gets fished out, and then you can slowly just encroach across the B-Dune side, which you saw were 3 players strong, including the bomb carrier, where that last player was just having to watch the entirety of the flank, who just peppers in some damage, just forces everybody to come contest over by the B-site pillars, and yeah, I mean, you just throw shoulders for a little bit too long, 2 guns are going to shoot you at the same time, and unless those traits come through lickety-split, going to be able to hold numbers pretty darn cleanly with that bomb going down. Invincibles with the 2-round lead here for the defensive side. Rocker Academy going to be taking an aggressive attempt over towards B.
And this time, Real's going to pick up the first blood. Rocker Academy will be feeling a lot more confident than they did in their last offensive effort. Bomb's still angling for a B. You've got to get past Raffi, though. And he damages the offensive line. Takes down Metals, but the immediate trade gives some relief here to Rocker Academy. Nonetheless, they still have to get the bomb down. I don't think Grad and Nile are going to give it to him easily. And this is a really nice rotation coming out from Rocket.
Smart call. A lot of resilience down over by B. You don't know what's left lurking down there. You just have to be able to take your wins, count your losses, and just get the hell out of Dodge. Now might be able to play exits here. So if you are Rocker Academy, you just play this post play. You just have to watch your angle, just not be able to give up too much for free. But Grad might be able to find some really unique timing here.
I guess the one, and Nile wins his one as well. So nicely done from Invincibles. What a clutch there it was to retake the site. An important round in this one. That puts a hell of a lot of distance between themselves and Rocket.
Yeah, I mean, that 2v3 was just about everything, right? I mean, they almost completely let that one fall by the wayside, did the Invincibles, when you're going back and you're looking after that first blood came through. The immediate call was for Grad to then come and coordinate a pinch on the outside of University, on the offensive side of University, I should say, over by the stairs where you saw Rafi just swing outside of the BS&D to be able to get that pinch. But Rafi would a little bit too early, Grad maybe a little bit too late. I'd have to go back and look at the timing, but to be able to then resurface, now fighting 2 on that A lane to complete the pinch with Grad, absolutely massive comeback for Invincibles to win that 2v3. Now 3 rounds up.
Really starting to see here why Invincibles are so good at search and destroy. Outplaying Rocker Academy at every turn. Their first bloods have also been really helpful, to be fair. But converting that last round is huge for this game. And now we're back to a standstill again. Everybody at a red light. Doesn't matter, though. Invincibles, they don't care. They'll break every law in the book. Nile and Olsen getting their first bloods in. 2v4 once again for Rocker Academy. And, well, that one very quickly falls by the wayside.
Again, it's just impeccable, isn't it? I mean, the Invincibles, when they fish out timings and they're expecting to get challenged out, they don't over-aggress. They know that they have so much time on the game clock. Why over-aggress? It's just impressive that the discipline that the Invincibles have been able to showcase through Search and Destroy, so through so many months, through all of Vanguard's year so far, is absolutely amazing to be able to watch for themselves. And then they force Rocker Academy's hand to try to make a play, try to find some information. The smallest drop of information, Invincibles just pounce on and walk away with it. more often than not. Very aggressive attempt is going to be Grad coming up those stairs. Real there for the answer.
Well, this is a much better round from Rocker Academy, but yeah, I don't want to say anything just yet. If you remember, it was only a couple of rounds ago where Rocker Academy were able to draw First Blood and didn't get the victory. I think this situation is entirely different, though, now. As a mid-sentence, Invincibles lose pretty much everybody besides Nelson, returning from another esport far beyond the realm of Call of Duty. Can Nelson pull off a 1 versus 4? Close out the search and destroy. He can get in behind enemy lines. If he gets some nice timing here against the player currently sitting up top tower, it's possible. Lucky watched it, though. Should spot out Nelson, and this should be over quickly. And there you go. He doesn't get that kill. This one should be done.
Yep, just not enough time. You got to allocate 7.5 seconds just to be able to get that defuse off. So Nelson's just going to put himself all the way on the backside of the map, maybe find exit. He's going to eat a couple shots. Lucky's going to throw a shoulder. We'll find the last kill. Yeah, a much better round for sure. And just to talk about it one more time, how that first blood comes to be. The Invincibles, obviously you have rounds to play with, so you try to get aggressive defensively over by the BS&D because that's been Rocker Academy's biggest point of contact through their offensive rounds is on their side of University. Sometimes Nettles likes to go inside University, but Real is constantly taking a focus down over by those B steps. So Rafi, Grad, more than aware of that. Instead, Grad coming through the defensive side of University, then doubles up on top of pillars. It just doesn't work out for them. Plays right into the hand as Metals just pounces out from the door, and numbers just too much to bear against the Invincibles that round.
Alrighty, well, there is a long road back into this one for Rocker Academy. At least they're on the defense for this round. Invincibles, they get this bomb down. Going to spell disaster, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Lucky's oversight is just not enough on the bomb, and Niall's going to be the one guarding it now. Rocker Academy, you got to find a way back into the site, and explosive, I think, is the way you got to get it done. Metals is going to stun tag Rafi, but still, he doesn't exactly know where that player is. He has very little knowledge in the play, but Real's going to get the first blood against Grad. Another one going to fall now. The numbers starting to fall in favor of Rocker Academy. This retake becoming all the more possible, and now Nelson. Oh, another 1v4. This one, even worse than the last, and Rocker Academy. Are they going to drive another round home?
It's a conversation that we have not had so far. This Rocker Academy roster, as far as understanding tendencies and reading enemies, Search and Destroy has always almost been a backbone for them as well, Brody, dating all the way back to Season 1 of the Elite, where they're winning Search and Destroy rounds and keeping things close versus some of the best Search and Destroy teams that we had to offer here in Europe. And I'm not going to continue to say that that's something that we are currently witnessing. All I'm just going to say is that Rocker Academy have been able to piece 2 rounds back-to-back, where Invincibles are throwing very similar rollouts, I would say. The Rocker Academy are just changing one positioning, changing where one stun goes to be able to read it. This time, Real stun not going to be able to go on the backside of the BS&D. Won't know that Rafi is here. Comes down to what is being seen on the other side of this map.
Grad drawing first blood in this one. Immediately, Rocker Academy, they feel kind of stunted. Metals might be the playmaker here. They have no idea where he is. Real's going to fall inside University. So now this makes this play all the more imperative. And Metals will take down Niall. But now the position has been revealed. A couple of players towards B, one towards A. How do Rocker play this?
Really hope that they can at least get control of his bomb site. But you do that without unless finding this kill. Big kill from Lucky. Could open up the BS&D. You would feel like for the flank to come all the way around on the opposite side, but Rafi is in that corner, so Metals, he's going to have his work cut out for him to try to join his teammate.
The advantage the Rocker Academy had might well have dissipated now. I think Metals just going to get some bad timing. Okay, maybe not actually. Rafi's kind of playing 2 ships in the night right now. This bomb will go down. And now can Rafi do anything for the exit frag? Doesn't get the first, looking for the second. He's getting shots on both, but neither resulting in a gunfight. Grad should be there for the finish. If not, Rafi will do it towards Metals. And yeah, these guys, they've been playing for a very, very long time together. They've got kind of a 6th, 7th, 8th sense as a duo. And they use it perfectly there to take out those last 2 players. Invincibles, they close out the search and destroy 1-1.
I'm just surprised that the timing wasn't there to see Metals cross in the first place. Again, playing 2 ships in the night. I don't know what type of games you guys play when the lights are out over there. That doesn't sound too fun, to be completely candid with you, Brody. But Invincibles, I got to say, again, to be able to come back from adversity, whether it's first blood, whether it's losing numbers, whether it just all seems impossible, able to bounce all the way back with just some clinical search and destroy. Their ability to be able to play one's life and understand aggressive timings, to be able to meet other line of sights is absolutely sublime on a map like Desert Siege. I mean, Ralphie being able to find that first blood was typical, for to say the least, for one, because he knew when he was finding that specific angle over by the broken railroad cars that he had to be able to get the timing against the player that was top tower, that was lucky. So he keeps himself up against the broken railroad cars, keeps himself underneath the line of sight, and then just peeks, sees lucky, pulling back a stun. That one kill alone kept everybody from Rocker Academy just trapped on their side of the map. They knew that Metals loves to play in the middle. He's able to find at least one. He gets in from behind. So what do Invincibles do? They just wait. The discipline throughout the entirety of those 9 rounds that were played in that search and destroy can just be encompassed around one word for the Invincibles. They are just very disciplined at search, which is why it's one of their integral game modes here in Challengers Elite.
Yeah, and I think the thing is with it as well, looking at the search and destroy, we do have those questions of kind of, is that actually as well a consideration for Rocker Academy just not being good at search and destroy at the moment? I think this has to be something that we do consider. Again, they were 5-9 in it in season 2. Or season 3, excuse me, has that carried on in towards season 4? We shall see. It's only one search and destroy at the end of the day. There's still at least 2 more maps to go in this best of 5. 1-1 in the series now between Invincibles and Rocker Academy. We're going to go to a quick break. When we return, we've got map number 3 in this thriller. Don't go anywhere. everybody, welcome back here to Call of Duty Challengers Elite for Season 4. Our coverage brought to you by Clutch GG. We're jumping straight into Rocker Academy versus Invincibles. It's time for the Berlin Control. 1-1 in the series, Andy. Who's going to win this one?
Oh, you know me, I'm not going to give predictions on that.
Oh, come on.
The Berlin Control for the Invincibles was only played one time. They lost to Soleo Signs 2-3, and it really just came down to being able to have enough kills, matching the tick progression. I have that in my notes from that specific matchup, though. Berlin Control was a one-on-one stint when it came down to Rocker Academy. They actually ended up beating AIM Esports on this map mode combination 3-1 in their opening round of the double elimination bracket. That said, it is Invincibles trying to stop this offensive attempt, but Lucky with the sub will find two. That should be the stack for that third segment of progression. Invincibles probably don't want to throw too many lives away at this.
Oh, Grad's still going for it. It was a bit of a courageous position, I think, from Grad. Try and get some exit frags if possible, but now maybe they've got a couple of kills. They could probably actually stop this one if they really wanted to. Real's going for a last-ditch attempt to save it. Lucky also present. Even gets one kill here. Can they get this one done? Rocker Academy still scrapping to try and get a hold of it. I think that would probably be it now. Grad just going to walk away for the moment, looking for some of these exit frags. And finally, that point secure will come through. And Rocker Academy, actually, with the kill against Grad, this could be a very quick swing over towards A.
Yeah, this is what I was worried about, throwing more lives away at it. I mean, even Lucky over by the dub steps is going to be able to at least find one. That'll keep the numbers dwindled inside of train station, not unless Nolson can pick it up, where he finds three. So now he's going to fly into the backside up P4, maybe find some more. This is going to force Rocker Academy to not only battle out from their spawn, but to also try to get themselves some map positioning. We see a lot of teams fall very, very quickly towards this spawn trap, and always trying to get train station back in their favor, which is why I am highlighting it so wonderfully. Lucky makes the play, gets that B-lane control. Now they're in through secret.
They've got to do more, though. At the moment, Invincibles, they're doing a really good job at pressuring Rocker Academy, so they don't really get out of spawn. Nelson not going to finish his food and still can't get it done. There's just too much of metals to eat. We'll get that kill eventually. Nelson now trying to play his life here, waiting for the rest of his team to come on and help, but too little too late. Rocker Academy have now made their way on towards the point, and it's going to be Real, the point of the attack. We're going to play his life, does get shut down, and well, nicely done from Invincibles here. They survive yet another wave of gunfights from Rocker Academy. 50 seconds on the clock now. I'm kind of intrigued as to how the Rocker Academy squad wants to play this. They have one player on the flank that could do some serious damage. It's Metals, and that should now open up this entire play.
Yeah, Metals only had one kill before that engagement comes through, but what a big two-piece that might end up being. Is it the catalyst to be able to get themselves in towards this A zone? 6v7, 30 seconds remaining. All you really need to do here for Rocker Academy, not lose too many lives, just get yourself on that A zone and stop out that clock.
And the kills are coming through, mind you. Now down to the final four are Invincibles. Time is still a factor, though. Rafi's going to stop Sukri from capturing the point, but he will fall. 5v3 now. 23 seconds is where the clock has stopped, and the progression is starting to come through. And again, something that Invincibles will want to keep in mind here is if they can, they don't want to give this progression away. They don't want to let them win by capture at the very least. But Nelson coming through, picking up the gunfights. Metals and Lucky in, and the kills starting to come on through there for Rocker Academy. They do not get the final tick of progression through. They don't win it by capture, but they win the offensive round regardless.
Hey, but 5 segments of progression is still something to absolutely look at, while also being able to keep kills in your favor. I mean, the war of attrition was massive. I was super glued to the minimap because I saw Nolson just fly off the respawn all the way past statue and came in through secret. They found one, but the mitigation of damage was at an all-time high for Rocker Academy in those last two pushes. Lucky and Real being able to walk in towards this round on 4. Well, now just Real, nice trade on denial. That'll stop these two players from trying to get inside of the A zone for the Invincibles, but that doesn't mean that wasn't a little bit of a bait play. Get themselves some space so that way they can get some early segments here on B.
I do like the start coming out from Invincibles. Not only are they capturing the B zone, they're extending in towards fire, and that's going to be Grad, who's going to be solely responsible for this push. And he is playing his life perfectly, by the way, as well. Kicking off with all of these kills, pretty much flawless so far, Invincibles in this round. B is well within grasp. They do have to be careful, though. Keep an eye on the top left of our screen. Real, 6 in a row now. He earns a glide bomb. That will be pivotal for later on in this control. It could well be the key to stopping a play from Invincibles. Thrown over to the picture-in-picture just very quickly here as the B point will fall by. This is Rascals and a Wobblebobs. They're about to get into control of their own.
That one's going through on Tuscan. Another swing map mode combination having on our other looking for a match. But for this one, though, B-Zone fully captured. 2 minutes And lives to speak of, 23v23. You still have one player that's in from behind. That's Nolson, who's actually doing a great job to cut down reinforcements for Rocker Academy. That is going to constantly be B-lane control, because you see where Sukri is located out here, Brody. He's all the way down on the bottom right side of the minimap. That's going to force all the Invincibles to continuously spawn up through top water. So this is how Rocker Academy are going to try to play it. They're going to keep them trapped on that side of the map.
That's the idea, isn't it? How successful can you be, though? That's the question. A couple of players have managed to filter on through towards that train platform, and of course a couple of players now starting to put a push in from behind as well. Invincibles, they absolutely have a shot here at capturing this point. They just need to make sure they actually get the kills in doing so. Metals holding on towards the point. He will fall, so now Invincibles here, a shot at capturing A. Those players, they are pushing over towards docks.
Gonna get themselves inside of docks, and now this is gonna call for Sukri. He needs to get activated here to try to get themselves over towards A zone, because this could be segment progression. You don't want to give up. Grad in the corner, though, gonna be able to find one. It's Invincibles. It's Bokash Hardpoint all over again. They're just trying to strive in the chaos. They're walking away with a handful of kills, and while all these fights are going on over by the double steps, Rafi is just keeping them at bay, so that way the Invincibles can get these 2 segments of progression.
Real did actually get that streak, by the way, something to note, and he comes in and saves the point as well. So that third tick will not come through, and he's actually going to bring the glide bomb down. I think this is a bit of a safety play, if you will. Doesn't want to lose this round. Unfortunately, all he gets is information. Is that enough to hold on towards the point? That's the question, is now you're going to start to see these Invincible players attack towards the point. Nolson has fallen over towards the middle of the map, but Rafi and Grad, the duo that finished off the search and destroy, looking to save the control here. And unfortunately for them, it is now just Grad left alive. So, bearing the first attack here are Rocker Academy, but they are ever so slightly down in lives.
The 11. But you could absolutely do this if you're Rocker Academy, just holding these longer lines of sight, especially when you have Metals that's watching the mid lane. Now for the Invincibles, it's all coming up through the alleyway. You got one player that's over there already. It's Nolson. Lucky's going to have to pick it up. Let's find one. Now, of course, going to be looking for the trade. Lucky slowed up from that stun grenade. It's just about buying time. 24 seconds remaining.
Tell you what, Lucky is buying a ton of time down low. Unfortunately for him, though, even the support from Sukri just isn't enough to play his life for Rocker Academy down to their final 4 lives. And this is the position we were talking about, right? You don't want to give this one away by capture. That is exactly what they've done. And what a monumental round for Invincibles there. Not only did they answer back to what was a great start from Rocker Academy, but we see the streak utilized from Real too.
Yep, you got the streak out. You have that 1 segment progression lead. You answer offense for offense on a map like Berlin. A lot of that, again, it was all really thanks to how much pressure Grad was just creating for the Invincibles. Rocker Academy had to deal with it. Look, if you're going to constantly set them to play off of water over by that B lane, you better hope that your flank is always going to be secured. Otherwise, Grad is going to continue to play these corners. He's going to find himself kills. He's going to get themselves that streak as well. And put themselves in a position to really just layer on the pressure. Going forward, though, need an immediate answer if you're Rocker Academy. Would love to be able to win this one cleanly off a segment progression here, Brody. They're already over by the B zone, but you have one player that's up top. That's Rafi.
Rafi, he's only going to be able to pick up 1. Will get shut down for the second there. So that initial stop on towards B does get shut down. But for Invincibles, it's not a terrible situation to be in. They've regained control of the train station. Even if they don't manage to stop this capture coming through, they have adequately set themselves up for the spawn trap, stopping Rocker Academy from spawning all the way towards back train. Now the setup. How well can they hold it? I think Rocker Academy here, they're kind of in this phase of, they know the positioning that Invincibles have set up, and now they're kind of bartering with themselves. Do we actually approach this from the train side?
Unbeknownst to them, there's actually one player that's going to be watching all this happen. Nolson is inside of the warehouse currently, and was only able to actually find one. Brad there for at least a trade. That was over towards Metals, who was trying to push over by the dubsteps. Now, you're just going to have to wait if you are Rocker Academy, trying to play for these picks. But, I mean, Invincibles, quick as you like it, are just trying to mitigate this life lead that Rocker Academy currently hold over top of them.
Rocker Academy. Got 1 secret weapon in from behind. Keep an eye on Metals as he makes that push. Lucky going to win the first gunfight up front, though. And there you go. Metals, he explodes. He wins that first gunfight. Gets the bullets into Rafi as well. And that will make him weak so that Lucky can pick up the ball. And now the progression's starting to come through from Rocker Academy. The kill feed is flawless for them. Invincibles, are they about to lose a second offensive round? What a weird control this has been. It's offense galore as Rocker Academy flip-flop we go. Take the lead once again.
Well, at least it's Berlin, so, it feels a little bit more normal when it goes offense for offense like that. It's just both Invincibles and Rocker Academy doing a great job at just fishing out these kills, finding the immediate kill feed going in their favor, 3-for-1s at the bare minimum, and then they immediately just fly. Play those corners inside the office. It really does feel like you are trying to break inside P1 off the unfavored side when the map does start as an offensive team, doesn't it? Because you find those kills, you clear away the church alleyway, or I'm sorry, the train station alleyway, and then you get yourself up through the dubsteps. It's just constant pressure that we're able to be finding for themselves. See Rocker Academy loading in towards this one with Sukri on a 5. Yeah, you had to utilize Real's streak in the previous defensive attempt, but what a great opening this has been here for Rocker Academy.
Now for the defense for Rocker Academy this time around. They've held strong against Invincibles on towards B, and they've held strong on A as well, especially as Nolson and Nile fall, and now you're in a bit of a worrisome situation if you're Invincibles, aren't you? You have your eggs, a number of baskets. Grad has still got a hand on A. As I say that, though, those kills starting to come through that might enable Invincibles to get on towards B. There's one player defending it, a sole defender of B at the moment, and that is Metals, and he gets shut down. So Invincibles, they will now be on towards the point of B. They capture progression, starting to come on through. Rocker Academy, they are just holding, making sure that they do not lose control of A, but they might not have much choice in the matter. Rafi coming in from behind now, able to take down one, a few more players, but if anything, this is but a distraction play, and perhaps even setting up the swing over towards A if possible.
It's just constantly, it almost feels like it's Search and Destroy all over again. It's Grad, Rafi coordinating for these pinches, just forcing Rocker Academy's hand to try to find these multi-kills just to be able to deal with the Invincible members who are just getting away with highway robbery, truly, when it comes down to the amount of map positioning that they're quite literally taking for themselves. And while Rocker Academy were doing all this, they just allowed Nolson to be able to get these 2 segments of progression over here on B. Now they're going to try to deal with this. They're throwing lives away at it. That just means that Nile is going to be there for the quick trade. They're going to be able to get that last segment of progression over by B, extend the game clock by 60 seconds. They're going to keep lives even.
Surely we don't see all 4 offensive one hit. Surely not. Would be quite something, wouldn't it? I suppose we did say it was Berlin at the end of the day, so it's not the most egregious thing in the world, but nonetheless, would still be surprising. Invincibles, they still have a shot at it. Nolson is key to that. He gets 2 kills, looking for number 3. Metals will fall. Nolson, hello. Welcome back to Call of Duty, my friend. 4 in a row, and that will open up the push here. The tap is very much open, and this one is Invincibles are on the point.
Next game on point by Nolson. First segment of progression all the way through. 1 minute and 17 is where the game clock's going to be stalled out. The flank has already been dealt with by Suki. You got to find these kills quickly if you're Rocker Academy, and they're not doing well enough to be able to clear away these corners. Lucky does break in, finds 3 for that second segment, comes all the way through. Man, I got a really big shiver down my spine. I thought Nolson was going to be able to open up the A zone for at least 2 segments of progression, but again, Rocker Academy, they're trapped on this A zone of the map. They're being flanked again.
Gotta be careful. Those players, they are dastardly on the flank. Gonna be Grad, one of the players to be part of that push. Real, though, he has been lights out all series long. Had a great hard point. Is having a great control here at 27 and 15, and could well be a pivotal player. Put a stop towards Invincibles in this game. Out towards Train he goes. A little bit too sketchy there. Gets shut down. Invincibles now looking to send us to a round number 5.
They're going to be able to do it here. I mean, not unless Lucky can get in from behind. You already have Nolson playing a corner. Lucky needs to go big. Finds 1. Snaps to the second. There's one more inside the small room as well. Real will find him. The last possible moment will actually just be met with disaster for the Invincibles. 30 seconds remaining. No respawns remaining. Rocker Academy need to play this perfectly.
I think it's safe to say we thought this one was over. 30 seconds left. I think it might be, but not for Invincibles. 6v4. All Rocker have to do is hold on towards the point. Lucky trying to play his life in an advanced position up the train platform. Doesn't really have much support apart from Metals along the way. And Lucky doesn't really need it. He's playing all by his lonesome. He's getting all of these gunfights. Sukri from afar will take down Rafi. Nolson, Grad, and Nile. Can any of the trio touch the point? Nolson is going to fly, but his wings have been well and truly clipped. Nile shut down. And Rocker Academy, by the skin of their teeth, they are able to win the control.
No way. Was that like 98% completed for that last segment? And we would have been going to a round 5 and Invincibles would have had defense. So woo, man, it's very rare that as commentators, we get to say, well, unless X player makes the play. And I said that for Lucky, and then he makes the play. He
Yeah.
just finds 3. Yeah, sure, go for it. Why not? You know, again, Lucky, a lot of questions around it, even for me personally, about what he's going to bring to the table with the SMG. A lot of that explosive play was not offered throughout the entirety of Season 3 of the Elite, still trying to figure out coming to their own. And then you have that little bit of a practice stint walking away from their top 12, showcasing at Toronto. He's looking pretty darn good with that execution that we just saw there at the end. Just never really afraid to be able to hit these avenues, to be able to find these opportunities, to be able to find kills in the back, to be able to find these flanks continuously, both on defense and offense, to be able to open up the floodgates for Rocker Academy to constantly have the openings that they did, because they were playing very passively, I will say, on their defense, and they were constantly being flanked. But the moment that they dealt with all those flankers, the moment that they dealt with the pressure from the front, Rocker Academy, specifically Lucky, was not afraid to be able to bring their 27 non-traded kill escapade all the way through those 4 rounds of play.
What a weird control. What a really odd control to talk about. Let's talk about the statistics from that one there. Now, we can see it very briefly here. Lucky, 33 kills to his name. Real, 28. And, you know, this is not us singling out players that perform badly, by the way. It just does feel consistently like when Rocker Academy are able to win maps, when they come out and they perform, why is it always these two? I feel like Professor McGonagall. Why is it always these two? You know, it's not even surprising at this point.
Yeah, no, I mean, right up the keys to success. Look, you know, Real Lucky, they at least go even. They at least put themselves in a position where they're fighting themselves trades, at the very least, favorable kill feeds. That should be the recipe for success for any Call of Duty team. Truly, you would feel like it can never be one person, but at least you end up having that second. You know, when we were going back to Season 1 of the Elite, and hell, even Season 2, to be completely candid with you, we are always talking about, well, you know, if the AR SMG combination of both Lucky and Real are finding themselves value on the map, they're probably going to end up winning it. Well, now they're an SMG duo, so if they're fighting continuous value on working out these timings, working out these pinches, I think that can be a continued recipe for success for this team going forward.
Alrighty, well, Invincibles and Rocker Academy, Andy, I'm afraid to say it's out of our hands now. We're going to be passing that one over towards the mainstream, so if you guys want to watch that one, you can check out Alan and Austin casting it right now. The conclusion of that's at youtube.com/COD challenges, which a channel you should already be subscribed to, by the way. If you are even remotely interested in grassroots Call of Duty, that is the place to be. So if you want to check out the remainder of Invincibles and Rocker Academy, that is going to be the place to do it. That means for us, we're going to be treated to the ice cream treat that is a Wobbabobs, which is a name that I love still to this hour, this minute, this second. Going up against Dizzy's Rascals, they're now 2-1 up in the season.
Only 2-1 up. Last time we saw them play Hardpoint was on that Berlin second set of Wobbabubs. Were only allowed to really find about like 44 points, and Dizzy's Rascals put on a colitic, about 140 plus point stint, not only be able to take the lead, but also take the map. Very difficult to be able to have some similarities in between Berlin and Bocage, but better hope that your SMGs can continue lighting things up. Dizzy is one of those young bucks to try to do it. They also had a nice AR to help things out now with Mythics coming into this roster, doing quite well for themselves here on P2 as well, especially because you already have Henry just zoning players away on top Grandmas.
And how much more damage can Henry do here in Top Grannies? Got to imagine a Wobbabobs will go for him sooner rather than later. You can imagine that opening blood from Chaxter is probably indicative of the fact they need to be careful. Doesn't matter anyway. They've got players down low. I don't think they're even really remotely bothered about the fact that there is still one player up top. What they should be bothered about is the fact that there's players from behind that are looking to damage their chances of holding on towards the point. You can start to see them angle kit as a Wobblebob spawning towards the backline. Henry now surely going to activate. He's been a sleeper agent for this Dizzy's Rascals roster for the longest time. Finally, he comes through. And he's not even the one that gets the gunfights anyway.
Quick update as I went back to look up the scores. Wobblebub 6-0 Dizzy's Rascals on the search and destroy. And then you had a complete shutout I'm sorry, the opposite. A Wobblebuzz completely shut out Dizzy's Rascals on the control, and then you had Dizzy's Rascals completely shut out a Wobblebuzz on the search and destroy. So very interesting how the past few maps have gone, but regardless of the matter, getting back in towards this one, Pixie, as you like it, closer spawns will finally pay dividends here for Dizzy's Rascals. And again, it's Henry, who we highlighted going back through that map number 1 on Berlin for this team, was constantly running routes, just always finding a thorn in the side for a Wobbabubs to never really get themselves a substantial amount of time apart from that first series of hard points, is always just right there to open up the floodgates. But here on P4, Wobbabubs will be in initially.
Can they hold? That is the question. Dizzy's Rascal starting to encroach on towards the hard point. Dizzy, the namesake for this roster. Looking for some gunfights. Will get shut down by his own teammate, it would seem, as part of a three-piece, so at least it was an elaborate play. It's one that works out, and Henry follows up with a duet of his own. Make it a trio, looking for another one towards the back line as well. And this is a player that can absolutely be scary for the Dizzy's Rascals roster. Looking for some more gunfights at the moment. He is content with just soaking up time, but as ever, this barn hardpoint is never without an event or two. The Wobbleball players able to find their way back in, but only for a moment.
Kerber's going to be able to read that little bit of a splits-on situation coming all the way through. He's going to try to finesse for some scrap time, and Mythics will cut him down. Chaxter's there for the exit as well. These delayed arguments going on over by P4 has allowed Dizzy's Rascals to be able to fully set up on the backside of the hedges, so now it's going to call down to Brezzy, be able to anchor out this side of L. Unbeknownst to them, Dizzy's already over by the staircase, just cutting down the reinforcements. Brezzy's going to become overwhelmed. Now, they did find some kills, but it's immediately conveyed off of Dizzy's previous position where the rest of these Awubabubs are coming from.
Brezzy and Cobra going to be part of that play. Going to open up things here with the first blood. Looking for some more kills. BB Connor, that's an important head to take if you want to get control of the Willow Tree. Unfortunately, not able to get it done as the rest of the kills come on through for Dizzy's Rascals. This becomes much more one-dimensional here for Wobblebobs. They're going to be spawning out over towards the other side of the map. And now you have to feel, even with just 20 seconds of scrap time, there is a real opportunity here to blow this game wide open again. We discussed it at the very beginning of the series between Invincibles and Rocker Academy, Andy. On a map mode combination like the Carge Hardpoint, a 50, 60-point advantage is incredibly damaging.
It is. It's almost alarming. Too big of a mountain to climb, as what we could utilize some analogies, some phrases, other words, I'm sure of it, but have to see if Awubabubs can really start coming back to life here, because they do honestly have a lot of bright spots, a lot of limelight to be able to showcase that they can absolutely live within the flurry. I mean, Top Grandma's being zoned away. Over by Gate, Abuser's winning ones as well. These Rascals are being isolated. They're having to try to find a lot of where these key positions are being held out at. And they're unable to really battle out of their spawns. So here on P1, Awubabubs have turned themselves into about a 30-point game. All the way down to about 19 now.
The word insurmountable was starting to come to mind here in this game. I think that one is quickly gone out of the dictionary here as the Wobblebobs find their way crashing back in towards this one, and a lot of it has been down to the dominance of the kill feed. They've won pretty much every single gunfight you can imagine, apart from a couple of pretty much non-sequential ones in this last couple of minutes or so, or last minute or so, excuse me. Back in towards this game, and now are the Wobblebobs. Now can they hold on towards P2 as Abuser gonna be on his lonesome for a moment. This is Rascals spawning in the backline here. They have those all-important tin spawns, so there is actually equally an opportunity here for these guys to really start to put some distance between themselves and the Wobblebobs. But keep an eye on Brezzy. Season 1 and Season 2 champion in North America for Challengers Elite this season. Now on a 4 spree. Now make that 5. We'll see what he can do.
Gonna be able to pick up number 6. 1 kill away from getting the glide bomb. Imir single-handedly flipped out the spawns with about 28 seconds remaining. That's a lot of good time to be fighting over Cobra, even off-screen. Is zoning players away over by the Dashy tank, but Brezzy was trying to fish out that last kill. Gets cut down from Mythics over by Gate. Cross-fired up with Dizzy. Now they're trying to break in for the last 15 seconds are Dizzy's Rascals, but it's the 15 seconds that they're going to have to completely concede. Going to have to look at for these close hedge spawns. Already under pressure. Cobra will be quickly traded out. Nice kill to be fighting for themselves. Dizzy's Rascals do not want Awubabubs to get too comfortable on this rotation.
And we were discussing not that long ago how Dizzy's Rascals could really put a serious dent in this game and effectively send us towards a game number 5. That's just how volatile a map like the Carge Hardpoint can be. Now we're looking down the barrel of a Wobblebobs doing exactly the same thing if they can break on through towards this hardpoint. But Dizzy's Rascals, they are holding strong. They will continue to hold the spawns towards the backline. They've got players sitting in, and now for a Wobblebobs, the objective has changed. It's been modified. They want to find a entry in towards the hardpoint, but they just can't get it done. This is Rascals. They continue to filter in from the backline here. They've got control of those influential spawns, and they've got players in all of the right positions. Awubabubs at the moment cannot touch. Now may be an opportunity to do so here, but Henry, Dizzy, Mythix, everybody from Dizzy's Rascals is here to help Henry in from behind. 4, give him number 5, Jackster. Come on, don't be mean. We're somewhat near Christmas, but he will finally get taken down rounds short of any streaks. Dizzy's Rascals, though, again, that is a massive hard point for them.
Yes, it really is, because then it builds their lead to about 30-plus points going in towards P4. Again, notorious from being broken up continuously, but if your SMGs are on point of what we've been seeing from Dizzy and Henry in this map mode combination of Bocage, you can really turn it into a lot of time itself. But you got to be able to break in first. So Wubba they're zoning away these two different lanes, one over by the tank formation, one through the middle of the street. But they find the kill, opening up that A lane, and now they can coordinate a little bit of a pinch. It's just one more player up top. It's Cobra. He can't buy too much time. Now it's up to Brezzy. BB Connor finds them both. Dizzy's Rascals are breaking for some time here on 4.
Huge amount of time here. 30 seconds left. Massive amount of time for a Wubba to give away, and they will not give it away lightly, especially as Cobra, Brezzy, and Shaxter each come through. They win their individual gunfights, and they should be the ones to get the scrap time. And now perhaps more damaging here is Dizzy's Rascals. They're looking down the barrel, losing these next rotations towards the Willow Tree. They do have some help, especially as they come in for the scrap time, so they will reach over that 200-point mark going into that next hard point. But I was saying that there are players, one player in particular that was over there towards the rotation. Henry just got shut down. They might have just paved the way here for Dizzy's Rascals to make their way in towards this rotation. This has to be a good hit from them. Wubba are they set up? Are they ready for it? The trade's starting to come on through now. Wubba setting themselves up in from behind, but Dizzy's Rascals, now they've got the spawns.
Got the spawns, but it doesn't mean you can get in here for free. Not when Abuser is beaming like that, opening up for Dizzy to at least try to get in for some hardpoint time. You just really want to keep this contested if you're Wubba. You don't need to fully break in, but Mythics will not allow you to do so. Now this is where Dizzy's Rascals can absolutely strike. They can't close it out here, but they'll put themselves pretty damn close to doing so if they walk away with all this time.
Look at somebody in the hill at the moment, to be honest. If you're Dizzy's Rascals, you spent so long there outside the hard point that Wubba now going to be the ones back in towards it for the last 10 to 15 seconds of time, and it will put them ever so close towards the Dizzy's Rascals scoreline. They're still going to go for it, and I don't really blame them, considering they'll probably just respawn up near the P1 hard point. Fight will now continue here. Wubba. Not much between them and Dizzy's Rascals at this point in time. Cobra, see what he can do. The rest of his team also starting to pick up some gunfights, and it means that Wubba will be the first team to touch. Dizzy's Rascals at the moment, they are on the better side of the map, but that is something to keep in mind as we move forward. A wave of gunfights come through, though, and now Dizzy's Rascals, they can pick up the time key necessary to close out this game if they can.
Uh-oh, and Henry also just flies out of the back of Grandma's, finds one. Needed answer immediately with all these kills. You got to somehow work through all these defenses. Again, you have players playing corners. You have Dizzy pushed up inside of Tools. Hunter is also watching from top side of Grandma's inside the attic, but he loses that gunfight. That's going to cause Dizzy to try to turn around for the trade, and Wubba have breaking all the way through. 20 seconds remaining here inside of P1, and you also have Abuser running the route for the spawns.
And I wouldn't go for this if I'm Dizzy's Rascals. They've been so concerned with holding off Wubba at the middle of the map. They've actually inadvertently let a couple of players slip the net, and now those players have completely damaged the spawn tier from Dizzy's Rascals. They're going to continue to spawn up over by the riverside of the map. And now for Wubba, can you break on through? Abuser, Cobra, they win some crucial ones, but it is not enough. Dizzy's Rascals, they're able to break, and now they will be spawning up in the backline. But Wubba, they are going to be the first ones to touch here, Andy.
Yeah, but Brezzy's blocking some of these spawns, so it's actually going to force all of Dizzy's Rascals to spawn over by the riverbed. So you need to be able to coordinate a little bit of a pinch, and you have to deal with these players over by these tanks. Jackster trying his best to be able to mitigate this damage, has one more inside of Barn, but the kills do not come through. Dizzy's Rascals fully break in.
And now Wubba, they're spawning out towards the other side of the map. Dizzy's Rascals, all you need really is one more solid hole. The first gunfight will be going towards Cobra. Brezzy with another one as well. One player slipped the net. That is Abuser who's through. And now Wubba, they could finish it on this hard point. They've got the better side of the map, the rotation too. And Dizzy's Rascals, they face a stark choice. They still need to get somebody in the hard point for the scrap time to force here a game number 5. They're at the very least going to do that. But look at this rotation here, Andy. It is so damaging. Wubba, they will be the first team to touch. They could get the 8 points required right here. Can Dizzy's Rascals progress across the map in time? The first couple of kills come through for Wubba. Dizzy's Rascals, they've got 2 more attempts. Dizzy, one of those, he gets shut down. There isn't anybody to touch, and Dizzy's Rascals sent packing here. Wubba, 3 maps straight to take the first victory here in Challengers Elite Season 4.
I mean, that is just absolutely absurd where you end up having... I mean, you again, like, they were down by, like, a solid, like, 50 points or something like that. Like, it was, again, mathematically insane to be able to string together that much time on the hard points that we ended up seeing. Wubba being able to piece together that much time for it. And it's, again, it's something you can be looking at for teams really starting to understand how to play a map like Bocage to a fine tee. You really have to rely on your SMGs to play those very unique timings, very offset pacing, to be able to read where the spawns are coming from, to be able to find all the kills required, to be able to keep the then assaulting team dwindled down to about 2 more players. And then you can look at the ARs just that locking down those longer lines of sight. The 2 AR setup that continuously came through for Wubba Bubs, where they had SMGs finessing for hardpoint time, finessing for further kills going forward for themselves, was at an all-time high. Brezzy, 34-30 with about 4,300 damage, was easily the most inside of the lobby, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, sure, whatever. We can end up taking a look at BB Connor, and he was close, but the amount of work that Brezzy was allowing Cobra, Chaxer, and Abusa to always find for themselves is absolutely something that you have to look at for this guy as he continues to progress through Season 4.
Yeah, I think one thing I will say is, walking away from that game, it feels like a real team effort coming out from Wobber Bobs. And I think that is a real strength moving forward for this roster. Again, we didn't really have a chance to talk about the composition of this team, but I'm sure you and I will have a chance to talk about them many times throughout this season of Challengers Elite, Andy. But at the end of the day, it is a very interesting roster when we talk about kind of the composition of players. We talk about kind of Brezzy on this team coming over again from Texas Nation. We haven't seen him for a while. I don't think we saw him in Challengers Elite Season 3 whatsoever. Then Abuser as well. He was absolutely made his mark this season. Chaxter, who did fail to qualify for Challengers Elite Season 3 on that prawn sandwich roster. That was the biggest shock, I think, of those qualifiers. And then I think the biggest piece of the puzzle here is actually Cobra. Really interesting. I think, we've talked a lot about him, what he's been able to do on the Signs roster, whether it be GWR Signs or Soleo Signs from seasons 2 and 3. He was absolutely the standout player on that team, and it does feel kind of like he's been let out of the cage now, and we'll see what he can do on a roster that might give him a little bit more room to breathe. But that's going to be it here for the first set of matches in day number 1 of Challengers Elite Season 4 here in Europe. Of course, I believe the match between Invincibles and Rocker should still be going on right now over at youtube.com/COD Challenges. If you guys want to go check that out, you absolutely can. While you guys do that, though, we're going to take a quick break. When we return, we're going to have a second set of matches here in day number 1. We've still got more Call of Duty to come, so you guys shouldn't go anywhere. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, everybody, to Call of Duty Challengers Elite here in season number 4. We're down with Europe, about to get into the second set of matches, and boy, do we have a banger for you. We are about to get into Team War versus Rocker Academy, a rematch of the Season 2 finals, Andy. It's going to be a great one, of course. These two teams, both, they've consistently been top teams this season.
Yeah, I mean, season 2 finals, this was also a rematch from season 3, lower round 1,
Yep.
when we were in playoffs as well, and that's when Rocker Academy actually sent Team War packing. Team War, funny enough, speaking of just them as a whole, on a little bit of a bounce back. We saw Team War's tweet earlier today, along with Kev. Surge was talking about how this team is not, in their championship form. He wants to bring a chip home to bring Team War back into their former glory. They've gone through a few roster changes away from their top 16, finishing at Toronto.
Yeah, indeed they have, and a crucial roster change at that, and I think a necessary one at this point in time. I think we're on a lull period, I want to say, and that's not even counting what everybody experienced at Toronto, which was a European massacre, as it were, with the European teams all being blindsided out of the top 8, ever being cut short of that accolade. But yeah, Wee Man is now out of the team. He has moved over towards Ultra Academy EU. Harry is now rejoining Challengers with War this time around. And I would say, I think this is, generally speaking, because we had that massive roster change we had between Sukri's Bakery and Rocker Academy last season. And now we've got this massive one going down between Ultra Academy EU and Team War this season. I would say this is beneficial for both of those rosters. I think Team War drastically needed a change, to be honest. I didn't know if it was a roster change or maybe a change in roles or just maybe a change somewhere along the line in strategy, but something needed to change for the roster. As I said, they were kind of on a lull period, as it were, for the team, even in season 3, excuse me. They just didn't look as good as previously. This is a positive change, I think, for them, especially given how talented a player Harry can be.
Well, yeah, I mean, also that, but you got to talk about how Ricky is now coming in as their main coach,
All right,
right?
yeah, of course.
Former Florida Mutineers coach has won chips along with that team when Ricky Atara was actually coaching that team specifically. So it's something that the obviously Team War have always had a very strong back of house. Surge always takes really good care of their teams. Is always make sure they have everything. I had a good opportunity to actually catch up with them and really get to know a lot of the Team War team and a lot of the fan club that it was behind them as well, all throughout Toronto. And it's just impeccable to be able to see what this team is going to be able to bring for themselves. It just comes down to the immediate turnaround, right? Obviously you do hold this season 4 placing away from still being top 4 in season 3, but however long Wingman has been in this camp, however long Harry has time spent with them, and how much influence Ricky's going to have here in a very crucial round 1 match.
Alrighty, well, looking to regain their dominance here in Season 4 of Challengers Elite. Can Team War start extremely strong? That is the question. A victory versus Rocker Academy would be a statement and a half for this War side. However, they're not going to be the first ones to touch the point here on Berlin Hardpoint. It is going to be the Spanish side of Rocker Academy that will be the first one to get some points on the board, but they do have to be careful immediately. A pinch starting to be put together right from the rip here is Denza in from behind. Can he put a stop to Lucky inside the hardpoint? Well, no is the answer. Denza gets shut down.
It's going to force Wardy just to play this corner, try to find some timing to help out their teammates break back in, because this is realistically 20 seconds you do not want to be given away for free. And Wardy's still trying to play their life on that 3, is actually going to do quite well to be able to find yet another one, but the trades will be a little bit too strong to battle through, but job somewhat done. If you are Team War, you just were able to allow Rocker Academy to get 26 points, but at least you contested the back 25. Now you take a look at this rotation going forward. Denza already zoning away this water building, has some help behind over by that B hut by Wardy.
And how much damage can you do here? You're all in your lonesome momentarily. At the very least, his influence spawns now, so that T-War will continue to spawn over towards that boathouse side. But he has still quite a lot to do here. And Denza is taking shots from all kind of angles. Metal's up top here. Lucky inside the hardpoint to do some damage. And now Real at the front of the hardpoint. But Maple and Harry actually do come through with a couple of kills here. So an opportunity perhaps to water break on through. And now at a crucial flip in the game, they could not afford to be spawning on that side of the map. With 30 seconds left, they flip those spawns.
Be able to flip those spawns, and you still have one player still finessing for scrap time. That's Harry inside of the hardpoint itself, and actually bought more than enough time for Denza to come pick up right where they left off. Denza able to at least deal with one more over by that B lane. The rotation trying to be threatened by Metals, maybe just stretching a little bit too far forward across the map. They try to influence those spawns ahead of that ever so wanted rotation from 2 in towards 3, but Team War still down, but certainly not out. They absolutely need to lock things down for the initial 25, if not 40, here on P3.
We said an important moment here for Team War. They have an opportunity to get a ton of time, but they don't currently have control of the docks area. They need to be wary of that fact. Rocker Academy starting to surge their way on through. Sending a couple of players in towards fire, but they mostly get shut down. It is Lucky now on a 5 spree to kick things off here. Looking to do some serious damage. Has managed to find his way in, but a nice nade from Harry. Harry combines himself for 3. Nicely done. Can he get 4? No, is the answer, as Real continues to cause some problems. Just 25 seconds left here. And this is still a good position, I would say, from Team War. They can fight this one from the front and still kind of be aware of those spawns for a nuke.
The spawns for new are actually under threat, by the way. Sukri will win that 1v1 off-screen to Harry. Trying to be that route man for this Team War roster, but Maple inside of the old hill. Win that 1v1, crucially as it may be, for those extra 8 seconds. So the rotation from Team War is going to be a little bit lessened for numbers, not specifically because Lucky just took down Harry, but because you still have one finessing for scrap time. So these SMGs need to go big. Denza only able to find one. You still have Wardy from behind trying to influence the spawns. He's going to get it. Denza and Maple still spawn on top of him, so Rocker Academy need to deal with this hit from the back.
Academy can still do this one from the front. Team War, they're going to hit this one from the back, as you say. Maple still around. Sukri looking to deal with him, and he's going to try and do it under the train car, but cannot get any of those shots in. Finally, Sukri will take him out, but Team War, the presence is still here from the back line. Finally, Metals does deal with Harry, and now an opportunity here for 25 to 30 seconds of Rocker time. We've also got one player inside train to provide those supporting gunfights. That is going to be Lucky, who picks up 2 crucial engagements. And this is just a concern who has been here pretty much all game long. 12-8, has had an incredible start and will continue to cause problems here for Team War.
Still about that 40-point lead going in towards P5. Rocker Academy can do quite well to just to be able to hold that going forward. I mean, you can give away initial 20 so long as you can keep breaking with what we've been seeing through the first set of hard points so far. Long flank coming around from Lucky, who is really coming to their strides in that opening matchup versus the Invincibles, especially on the hard points we saw even at the tail end on the main broadcast. Just always finding these opportunities to be able to wrap around towards the back has actually aided Rocker Academy to spawn on the favorite side of the map ahead of this very difficult P5 hill. We say it's very difficult because you still have to deal with Denza, who is in top third of Mail, just finessing for a lot of time while the rest of the Team War just zone away the middle.
Looking at some time here, Team War. They get it done. I'm starting to see these Rocker Academy players approach. At the very least, they're on the better side of the map for rotation towards the next hard point. Team War well aware of that fact, though. They're already sending players on the long flank to try and get control of those new spawns. Rocker Academy, though, they're wise to it. Lucky able to get that flanking gunfight on towards Denza. And now even Rocker Academy here, they've sent players towards the scrap time, but that is too far through towards P5. Team War happy now for the moment as they're able to now get players in towards this next hardpoint. Wardy sitting close at the moment, has the backup of another player in close proximity, but Real is just so dangerous. Metals through with another one as well. And Rocker Academy, it is a shaky rotation over towards new, but they make it work.
This is something that I didn't get to talk about between Rocker Academy versus the Invincibles when we were watching them on the Bocage hardpoint, but Rocker Academy were able to walk away with so much time, and we're breaking significant hardpoints as well because their stuns and nades have been absolutely sublime, and you saw that come through right before Real chows out through the glass window. The stuns, nades, everything else in between, just too good for Rocker Academy. Is keeping Team War at bay. Even from their favorite side of the map so far going in towards one, they get broken with the initial 10, and Rocker Academy are just blowing this game wide open. They're zoning away players over by the double steps as well. Nobody from Team War can seemingly get in P1 for free. Finally, they get themselves a favorable kill feed, but it might just be a little bit too late because now you got to just run your way across the map for this rotation to 2.
Yeah, and to be fair, Rocker Academy here, they haven't actually touched that new rotation just yet. They did spawn over towards the train yard, so they do have a fair bit of room to breathe here for this rotation, but Team War still within striking distance. They can still get this one done. They just need a couple of crucial engagements. Denzel will be part of this plate. Has to make the heroics happen right about now. A Herculean effort is required, but the nade being thrown out will land on towards Sukri. There you go. Has he wasted enough time here to get the support from Harry alongside? No is the answer. Every single player from War has fallen down, and now Rocker Academy here, this leader's advantage continues to grow, and it feels, I don't want to say insurmountable at this point, but it is a real challenge for War at this point in the game.
I mean, we did say that it's becoming insurmountable at about a whole hard point. A full 60 is what Team War really need to even bring themselves remotely back inside this game because they are down considerably. Just about 90 points in between the two. Finally, contest back in for the scrap of 2 will be Denza. I mean, it's all just about trying to find as many kills, keep Rocker Academy at bay. Out of this rotation over by 3. But again, it's a lot of focus, isn't it, for Team War going in towards this P3 hardpoint, much like the previous, over towards this B lane. Metals, again, has been able to find their way inside of bottom fire, trying to find where a lot of these players are located at, and they're losing numbers across that B lane. This should be interesting for the spawns. Team War spawning towards the south side, over inside that train alley. Lucky will get the spawn in over by the crane.
Every single time War get close towards a hard point, every single time it feels like they might have an opportunity to get back towards this game. Rocker Academy are there to close the door. Now maybe another opportunity to slam it right back in the face of Team War as the War boys start to make their way in. Maple's able to pick up a couple of gunfights. Lucky towards the backline still needs to be dealt with. But again, the bigger problem is Rocker Academy will continue to regenerate towards the backline, towards docks. It is a problem for War, and this is not exactly time at this point in the game you can really afford to give away, as Rocker Academy will edge closer to that 250-point mark. Can Harry maybe play off some heroics for the last 10 seconds? No is the answer, but this time something is different. Rocker Academy, they do not have control of the rotation.
Yeah, they're not already threatening in the backside of the warehouse. Wardy immediately rectifies the issue that happened going in towards the P4 rotation in the first set of hardpoints, but they will lose the upcoming gunfight to Lucky by range. They're also having a threat coming away from Sukri over by the train alleyway as well. So now they're in towards the backside of the warehouse, our Rocker Academy. That's going to actually force Denza to spawn in from behind. Now, Sukri's not going to be aware of this, so this hold from the front needs to come through from Rocker, but they're losing numbers, Brody.
Indeed, they are. Wardy towards the back line. He has fallen. It only takes 30 seconds for Rocker Academy to get on through, and that is simply not good enough if you're a Team War. And now it's go time. Rocker, how strong can you be here on the defense as War look to make their way through the train station? Are they on time for this one? Metal's going to be sitting in the corner waiting for somebody from Team War to approach. Denzer, can he do anything about this? Does get shut down. Wardy is able to get one. Looking for the second as well. Does find it, but again, it's these 15, 20-second chunks of time that they're giving away to Rocker Academy that are simply just implausible. They shouldn't be happening. And what? Rocker Academy now just 18 points shy for War. They can't afford to give anything more away.
Zoning has just been so good for Rocker Academy. Again, with the rotation going over towards 5. I mean, you already had Sukri finding kills on the B lane as well. Lucky's actually going to spawn in behind this play that Maple has been trying to put together for themselves. We'll see one up top of the dub steps, but this zoning control, this spacing needs to be absolutely huge. Maple, a big double that would have been able to find for themselves since the Rat Pistol was going to be able to take down Sukri with the Automaton, but the spacing has been provided. Team War are currently in.
Team War trying to get a handle on a potential rotation as well. That player who was over there, I think it was Wardy, did end up falling. So unfortunately for them, that does fail. Just 17 seconds left now. Rocker Academy, if they can get in, great. If they can pressure, great. But they will now focus on the rotation. There's one player who could put a stop to this, though. It's going to be Denza. He did just get spotted out by Real, and now going to come and actually just help out his teammates for a full frontal assault. Here we go. Harry able to pick up one. Can Rocker Academy hold strong? Harry tries to fly through. He gets shut down. And now, just 13 seconds away, our Rocker Academy from a map number 1 victory. Team War looking to fly on through. There's a couple more kills coming out from the War boys. Are they at the very least able to remove Rocker Academy from the hardpoint? But there's still more players in purple inside Wardy. You gotta go. Somebody else gotta touch the hard point. Harry gonna take down his teammate here, but it doesn't matter. War, they're gonna be in.
Gonna be in for the time being, but you gotta be careful because kills are still coming through from Rocker Academy. Lucky's in here as well. Denza needs to go big. He has help from Wardy. And now you can push on forward over towards this window. This should guarantee that Team War will be over 200 points, but Rocker Academy are aware. They only need 3. Sukri's in from the flank from behind. This is gonna lock down the rotation. It could potentially break on in.
Yeah, they can still do this with just 3 seconds required. Has to be heroics coming out from Maple, and it just isn't good enough. Harry, can you do anything? Even the new addition to the roster cannot get it done. Rocker Academy, they walk away with a map number 1 victory here. They had a hell of a lead about halfway through that game, Andy. It really felt like it was only a matter of time.
It really did, right? I mean, when we were talking about it continuously for Rocker Academy throughout the entirety of this Berlin hardpoint, they were breaking hardpoints. They always really held that 40-point lead. By the time that it reached to about 80 or so, breaking 2 more hardpoints in succession, yeah, that leader's advantage is a little bit too strong to bounce back from. You would almost need to be able to show a semblance of the resurgence from the opening that came through from Rocker Academy.
Alrighty, well, as we transfer over towards the Wobblebobs and Katana gaming game, It is going to be in a Whopper Bobs now, about 50 to 60 points in the advantage at the moment. So this is a big game for them. And I think generally speaking, while we kind of settle into this one, Andy, we should say this is, I would say, a big game very early on, a big match early on in Season 4 of Challengers Elite, because this is one of those that could well decide, if these guys perform maybe above expectations, it could be very important to decide maybe a team that manages to make it into playoffs towards the end of the round robin stage.
Yeah, it absolutely will, right? I mean, we always talk about this from the newly qualified teams, and although we have seen some of these players before, without having to face some of these top 4 teams, the former playoff rosters, you want to try to get as many W's as possible, and well, this could be a really good one to have for either of these two teams, and well, Wubbabubs coming away from their previous series, beating Dizzy's Rascals on a Bokash hardpoint, yes, albeit by 10. Seems that they have not skipped a single beat so far, Brody. Cobra is 21-7. Yuza 18-9. Chaxter also putting together a spree right now. Finds kill number 6. Gonna be looking for number 7. A glide bomb surely would be the cherry on top that Katana Ricochet do absolutely not want to see.
And the tastiest of cherries, wouldn't it be? If Chaxter could get it done, and well, there it is. He's on 7 in a row. I think this is surely a visual glitch from our end that he either doesn't have the glide bomb or does actually have it, being 7 kills in a row. But regardless, we'll keep you guys posted on exactly what's happening with that one. So there you go, Chaxter with number 8, and there is the streak coming through. So as you say, the cherry has now been earned, and Wubbabubs will have that one in the back pocket. And we discussed kind of at length leader's advantage when it comes to these games of hardpoint gear. Very unforgiving. Oncology Vanguard as Cobra picks up kill after kill. How about this one for Elite here, Andy? Wubbabubs there, 90 points to the good, and they have control of P2.
And just look at all the pacing from Wubbabubs. I mean, you have all of these players just constantly flying, berating you, and the moment that Katana Ricochet have any semblance of control, 2 players strong, 2 more players, if not 3, from Wubbabubs, set themselves up with a pinch. It's coordinated, it's disastrous. 66 and counting on up for Wubbabubs. They are seemingly not losing gunfights, if not within the gunfights itself, not convincingly. 3-for-1s or what Wubbabubs are consistently finding across the map. It's forcing Katana in towards these isolated engagements where they have to go big, and nobody's willing to step up to the plate. Well, I'm sure they're willing, but nobody is able.
That's the problem, is it? The motivation is most certainly there. It's just a delivery. Goodness me, they've got this one from every. Wubbabubs now just shy of the 200-point mark. Is there a way back into the game for Katana Gaming? That's really the question. Have to imagine the answer probably out of their grasp. But we'll see. Miracles have happened before in Call of Duty, but you've got to get past Chaxter, who is, yet again, putting another spree together. You also got Brezzy on 4 in a row, despite the fact that Katana Gaming do, technically speaking, have control over the Grandma's hardpoint. Those Grandma's back hedges spawns early on. It doesn't ever look like they have much of a grip over it whatsoever. But Chaxter is shut down. Brezzy is shut down, so there is some positives to be taken away from this if you're Katana Gaming. But even plays like this, Cobra just sitting, waiting to get some kills, has the help from the teammates, and a Wubbabubs, well, they're back on 3.
Yep. 207 v77. Say that you need to string together about 140 points worth of Katana Ricochet on a map like Bokash Hardpoint is very difficult to say, but we've seen some wild things on this map mode combination before, but you really need a few players to step up. The SMG department, maybe Ross is going to be that guy, but only able to find one. Abusa just couples again for themselves to be able to find 2. The break here for Katana Ricochet is just going to be absolutely disaster when it comes down to their mental. 10 seconds are what Wubbabubs are fighting over, keep in mind you, and they're making sure that Katana Ricochet have to work so damn hard for even the slightest bit of time.
Not looking good for Katana here. And they break on through. Chaxter watching the cut in the middle of the map. You have to imagine they'll check it, but Chaxter's actually just going to go early for the first gunfight. It doesn't matter, does it? Chaxter looking for 3. Does get shut down at least by Footsie. Just 25 seconds is all of the Wubbabubs need here. And Katana overwhelm them on the hard point, break on through. Make a miracle happen. Footsie, though, does get shut down. Cobra, Brezzy, Chaxter, all of them in that gunfight. All of them picking up a kill. Wubbabubs now just 15 points shy of victory here, Andy. It looks inevitable.
Glide bomb gonna call in. Lokeza up outside of P1 turn. Over for 2 more. Yeah, just call them all in here, boys. Yeah, they're not getting inside his hard point. 250 to 104. My heavens. I mean, this is a Wubbabubs roster. The moment we hopped in, both you and I were looking at the same thing. We were like, wow, that's an impressive scoreline the Wubbabubs have already put on for themselves throughout the first series of hard points. And Katana are surely down, but then the next thing that became obviously prevalent was the pacing differential. I mean, it will be very, very clear as far as KD ratios. The stats will definitely tell the story that I'm about to TLDR for you. Is that the SMGs for for Katana were a non-benefactor. A Wubba were finding
Yeah.
way too much value on just quite literally flying. They had their track kicks on, man, because they were just sprinting from one side of the map all the way to the other. The SMGs were always finding double kill, triple kill after maybe even a quad kill. But it even goes further than that as well, because again, their double AR setup, like what I was talking about, walking away from that matchup versus Dizzy's Rascals, is way too good. You saw what Cobra looks like. He might as well have a submachine gun in his hand because he's just dropping bombs.
This is again the performance. I think we look at players like this. This is the performance we've come to expect from this roster. Again, we've seen these guys multiple times during the season thus far. Again, you're looking at players like Brezzy, who again is technically speaking one of our North American champions this season over in that region. Season 1 and season 2 with that Texas Nation roster. Cobra again, he was a standout player on the Signs roster, despite the roster maybe not having that much success generally speaking. Again, we saw that talent and we're seeing it through here in this matchup. It almost felt in a way like Katana were just a little bit out of their depth in that game. They didn't really feel like they were able to put anything together. And I'm not saying that in a mean way. It just felt like every time maybe they had a rotation. I think maybe the Grandma's rotation probably epitomizes it really well, right? They have control. They have control of the back spawns. And even then, they seem so concerned about, where are this Wobbabob's roster coming from. They don't like they have any control and they're able to get any time. They get broken pretty much immediately. So Wobbabobs in that best of five, they're now 1-0 up. But also on the other side of things, we have Rocker Academy now 1-0 up over Team War, Andy. How about this one as we take a look over at the stat lines? For Rocker Academy, a team effort and a half.
Yeah, I mean, you look from top to bottom, that second row does speak volumes. When you bring up team effort, I mean, you look at the assists just between Sukri and Real, combined for 24 assists, not to mention the 21 non-traded kills for Sukri, just doing a fantastic job, as we've been able to highlight for Sukri when he was an owner of his own bakery for a few seasons ago, and now coming in towards Rocker Academy as well, just to be able to find that much damage while also finessing for their life, opening up the opportunities for SMGs to be able to work their way forward. But the damage was also being collected from players like Lucky. Again, 23 and 25 is not the sexiest KD ratio in the world for a player like Lucky running around Berlin with a submachine gun. But the amount of pressure and the amount of kills that he was cleaning up from the amount of damage that Sukri was laying down, as well as the routes that were being run by Metals, it was absolutely what we'd love to see coming through from Lucky. Again, question marks around what Lucky might look like as a main sub, or a secondary sub, I should say, with this Rocker Academy roster. Did not have the greatest season in showcasing, nor at the Toronto Open with this roster. But that 1 week worth of practice definitely looks like this team has found some strides.
Yeah, indeed. I think we've got a lot of questions about this Rocker Academy roster. And I think we've had a lot of questions about them, in between season 3 and 4. Again, as you say, over at Toronto, what is happening with this roster? Can they make it back to their season 1 form? Because that is ultimately, I think, the goal for this team. They came out the gate swinging. And ironically enough, if you kind of remember last season, because this is, again, that storyline that we brought up at the beginning of season 2, right? It's like, you remember last season of Challengers, the Black Ops Cold War year, it was the then, I want to say Los Galacticos were their name. It was a long time ago now, so my brain is fried with Call of Duty information. That came out swinging. It was this team. They won season 1 of Challengers Elite. From there on out, it was a downward spiral for the roster. And I think the point that you and I have been making about this Rocker Academy team is we just don't want to see the same thing happen again with the team. And that's why I think the roster change that happened for the roster was somewhat alarming. It was like, all right, hang on, is this happening again? So we'll see. I think there's still a lot of answers that we're looking for this team, but it is promising what we saw in map number 1. The team performed very well. And again, you cannot underestimate an opponent like Team War. This Team War roster, again, they brought Harry into the team. And that is another question we were asking. We're trying to see, is this going to fix this Team War roster? They're also looking to regain their dominance from season 2.
Yeah, and again, just to go back to the video that was posted by Team War Social today, with Serge sitting down and talking about the overall differences about what Harry is going to bring to the table comparatively to Wee Man. There's no blood loss in between, Wee Man being dropped for Harry
Right.
to be coming in. Essentially, what happened was going to be a trade, because you would assume that Harry was just going to go back to the Toronto Ultra Academy EU, with Gizmo going back up to the London Royal Ravens. Anyway, what you're getting with Harry is that you're mostly going to be getting more of a mainstay AR. I would say that he's going to be that player that's supposedly going to be making sure that the spawns, the rotations are going to be anchored out. And to be fair, that's what we have seen from Harry continuously throughout the entirety of the year, dating all the way back towards season one, early cups as well, playing with
Yeah.
Ultra Academy EU, and also what we have seen when Harry was playing with the London Royal Ravens. Man loves a good route. He's able to put himself all the way into the back, make sure that the spawns are anchored. It just comes down to it in those very clutch situations. Are they going to be missing the pace differential? Because that is what Wee Man did bring to the table, was that little bit of an extra flex, that little bit of an extra moxie that can come through, that when it absolutely comes down to it, he will give up that anchor spot to try to fly in to be able to contest some hard point time. You just really do hope that the pace does not get missed from other players here on this war roster.
Yeah, that's the question. And actually, to be fair, I think it's an interesting point you bring up about Wee Man, because one of the big things about War, and one of the reasons they were so successful during season two, is we had this combination of Wardy and Wee Man that just looked so good together in their respective roles. It was really threatening for everybody to kind of look at. So it is a question of kind of can we see that same kind of viewership out of players like Harry playing alongside Wardy? That there's just a lot of questions I think we have ready to be answered. I'm very excited to see what the future of this Team War roster looks like, though. And it is nice, roster changes. They do, I would say, if we look at last season in like the Black Ops Cold War season, Andy, roster changes were few and far in between. And I still would say, comparatively to North America, with all the snowstorm of roster changes that we just had over there, by the way,
Yeah.
and no doubt we will continue to have even moving up to finals this season. Um, I think still they're few and far in between. And I kind of do appreciate that about European challenges. I'm proud to be European for that fact that we
Oh, you're
don't
proud
just
to be a
change our
European?
rosters.
This is the first I've ever heard of that. Wow.
Yeah, I'm not generally, to be fair. But yeah, that being said, yeah, I do kind of appreciate that's what we've got here in Europe, is that these guys, they do like to fix their problems before outright going for a roster change. So yeah, we'll kind of see. We've got a lot of questions to be answered, I think, moving forward in this season. Just to give you guys an update, again, we are just waiting for map number 2. We're not just rambling for the sake of rambling. We're waiting for the lobby to get set up and the players to get in towards the game. So while we've got you guys captivated with your attention and such, you guys should know there is another match going on right now over at youtube.com/COD challenges. Our good friends Alan and Austin. I was going to call them Alan and Alan then for a second there. That wouldn't have gone well. Alan and Austin, Hellshift and Visions casting that match up right now. So make sure you guys go check out that broadcast, because that's another awesome match to be watched too. So a lot of Call of Duty to be had. Again, our final season of Challenges. It's sad, isn't it, Andy? It's really sad that we've got to this point. That the season's almost over. It feels like it's gone by so quickly.
It really has. The Vanguard season has gone by pretty damn quickly. You're absolutely right. It's one of those things, again, where I sat there and I got back from Toronto. I was just looking at the calendar. I was like, whoa, we got Boston, we got finals, season 4 of the Elite, and then champs. That's it. Vanguard season's just completely just gone by so quickly. It's insane. Also for me, myself, an overall just a lover of all the analytics when it comes out of Call of Duty, to be able to see how the meta has specifically changed. Obviously, not from the weapons itself. The Volt came and gone, but also to be able to see how individuals are also playing throughout the entirety of the map. The timings have changed now with all the perk changes. It is crazy when you go all the way back. The end of the year montage is going to be a long one, because we've had some really cool moments.
Yeah, indeed we have. And it has been, I think, a tumultuous season. If we're talking about Europe specifically for a second, because obviously this is technically speaking the region that we're casting at the moment. We talk about kind of where we've started to the point that we're at now. We've had a different victor every single season, and it has been highly competitive. There's been new champions, new challengers coming through every season. Of course, we've got 2 new teams coming in this season with the Wobblebobs roster and Katana Gaming. Both teams we've got going on right now. And yeah, there's a lot to talk about. I'll tell you what, instead of us rambling on, because we are currently waiting for the game to get underway, and I think there's some issues currently being experienced on game end, we're going to send it to a break. I'm going to call an audible for Daniel, our wonderful producer. When we return, I promise we'll have some Call of Duty for you guys to cast, and less of us just rambling on about random rubbish. So be back after the break and we'll have some Call of Duty for you guys. Possibly. Daniel didn't hear me. I think Daniel. Okay, we're going to break, Daniel. Hey everybody, we're back now with Call of Duty Challenges, and it's time for that game number 2 that we promised between Rocker Academy and Team War, the former of which 1-0 up in the series right now. Ignore what's at the top of your screens. We're in towards a Desert Siege Search and Destroy, and well, it's going to be Rocker starting off with the bomb.
Rocker Academy walking away from their matchup versus the Invincibles. Lost this 6-3. Team War on the other side. This is their first match, remember, because they did not play versus AIM earlier today. Bomb's really far back for Rocker Academy, while the rest of the 3 players, Sukri, Yal, and Metals, are all pushed up all the way over by that A-bomb.
Metals might well be the playmaker here, able to pick up that first blood. That should open up the round now for Rocker Academy. This Team War will be sent for a loop here. Maple's able to get one, actually. Metals distracted by one player in the back line. That will be Denza. The Maple going to close things out there with that gunfight. While all that's going down, it's all but a distraction here as Rocker Academy now going to get the bomb down over towards B. How quick of a reaction do we see out of Team War here? To be fair, look at this double wrap coming through from Rocker Academy. This could be super fast.
He's not going to hit it. Lucky's camera got completely broken. Lucky's going to go down. 2v1. And Wardy just, he's trying to find the timing, trying to get on the backside of the stairs as well as just going to absolutely be met by demise. And again, that take as a whole for Rocker Academy was quite interesting, wasn't it? Because you had one player with the bomb all the way in the backside just watching if there was going to be a push through over by the BS and D. And the other 3 players were pushed up essentially on the A bomb. They found one pick and then they quickly rotated. They showed about 2, if not 3 faces over by the A bomb. Found that one pick and got the hell out of Dodge. The fact that they had timing, if not, did not meet any resilience coming out from University as a whole is impeccable.
Team War now going to get the bomb down straight over towards B. Harry's already drawn the first blood, so this is a very quick affair from War. How quick is the response from Rocker Academy? That's the question. Lucky being pushed back here. 3 for 3 we go. And look at the space now being given up by Team War. They do have to be careful. Rocker Academy, they've got control of the site, but they do not have control of the side of it they really need. But Real comes through, looking for the second versus Denza. He finds it elsewhere. Lucky takes down Maple. And how about that for a retake? Rocker Academy steady as ever.
And like Rocker Academy are just constantly just out-positioning Team War. They get themselves that one pick, and they're just hard reading. They don't try to take too much from 1, if not 2 individual kills. What they do is that they just take a little bit more map positioning, knowing that one is clear, knowing where the immediate trade has to be coming from. They're able to walk away with those kills, keeping numbers advantage intact. Real 4-0, 4-0 as you like it. Young Buck really coming to play in this map number 2. Finding these early engagements, these damages, and absolutely great for Rocker Academy's success. Be able to keep Team War at bay, and more often than not, just gives them way too much room to breathe.
Alrighty, well, Rocker Academy have started this blazing fashion. This search and destroy. Can they get a 3-0 start? Would be quite something, wouldn't it? Real, keep an eye on him. He's already got 4 kills back to back. 5, 6, and 7 would potentially put this round out of reach. But while nothing's happening here on our screens, we should let you guys know that there is another match going on right now. A Wobble Bob's going up against Katana Gaming, and a Wobble Bob's now 4-0 up in the search and destroy. So we'll keep you guys updated as that one progresses. But already, finally, this round is underway now. Rocker Academy, once again, they're the ones with first blood.
Found Maple, so longer lines of sight need to be held. Harry is out over by these dunes. What do they try to with this rotation going forward? With the bomb being planted at A, Wardy, you would assume, would need to be able to find some value to combine that with Denza watching this A lane.
You could find Real. Yeah, big round as well. There you go. First blood now for Denza on the retake. Looking for another one. They do. And now it's Real. 1v3. You're faced with a stark choice here. Do you actually want to proactively go for this? It would be a massive 1v2 if you could get it done. He gets shut down. 5 in a row for Real. And he's got cut short of 6 and 7. Team War with a retake. And if from Real there, again, you're faced that choice, right? You know, do you actually just play for the streaks in that position?
Well, I mean, more often than not, yeah. I mean, sure, you should play for the streaks, but I don't know. To play for the round win, just continue on with the pressure. It's one of those like Porque no los dos kind of type deals, right? Like, why not just try to get both? You already have just a round to play with, but just to run away and try to play for the streaks going on later on. Maybe the glide bomb might be influential, but to go up 3-0 would be even bigger in my opinion. But Team War, That was pretty impeccable. Denzo waiting for Harry to wrap back through their spawn to be able to get numbers going forward. That coordinated pinch with Wardy up top. Finally getting themselves on the board.
Team War trying to get control over the A site, or the B site, excuse me. Maple going to get that blood against metals will make this infinitely easier. Now, last time around, Rocker Academy were able to storm on towards the site and get control. This time, I think it's a little bit different as Rocco look to push from the A site. But as Sukri falls now, it's going to be a lot tougher. Real and Lucky are worlds apart. Real wins his first gunfight. This is more possible, but still, the timer now becomes a factor that you have to consider. And Lucky still hasn't really made much progression towards the bomb site whatsoever. As a matter of fact, it gets worse as now he faces the pressure from Denzer inside Uni. Real has fallen. And if you're lucky, well, you're lucky to get away with anything here in this round.
Yeah, he's just going to be throwing more damage down. He knows that he has one more player on his flank. The timing has to YY the reload. 10 bullets is able to take down Denza at the very least, but not enough time to be able to get themselves back over towards the bomb. All those kills, again, it was tough to say the least because Real, winning that one, you almost would assume had to just fly to be able to get that pinch going over by the B bomb staircase. But they get met a swift demise trying to get through University by Denza, who then just keeps Lucky trapped. And even though Lucky was able to clear away the B bomb site, everything else that was going on over by that metal truck, over by the B dunes, just too much pressure as Team War pieced together 2 more rounds. Be knotted up going into round number 5.
Lucky with the sniper rifle. Again, this is a big head to take over towards those back ruins. Gives you a lot of control over the B site. But is that where Rocker Academy want to angle? That's the question. You want to get control of University before you go anywhere. And this is a good start as Metals does take down Wardy. So now for Rocker Academy, you're a pick of the lot. Where do you want to take this bomb?
Well, it definitely seemed like they're trying to clear away the B bomb. Nade comes through. Lucky will clear it out. Real would surely be following. Going to go ahead and plant this sucker here at B. But what does Harry find? Throw some shots. Bomb does get planted. Is he going to be able to find the exit? Real is just going to play the bomb itself. But he does want to still find Lucky. He knows that Real is over here still.
Oh, the stun check as well. It doesn't actually land on towards Real. That's really rough. If he landed that, it would have been perfect. Maybe the nade will do something. Maple takes down Sukri. Looking for the second versus Metals. And again, the information was there. It would have been a big one to take. But now Maple 1v2. Has the time to make this one work. He's voraciously hunting these players down, but gets shut down. Really well played from Rocker Academy. But there are moments there where that looks like a war round.
Yeah, I mean, you would really feel like it was, right? Well, we didn't get to see it truly unfold. What was happening on the other side of University was that you did end up having Metals just causing a little bit of ruckus, a little bit of discomfort, I would say, from what was immediately turning in the middle of the map pressure for Team War. And although Harry did well to find Lucky to be able to make that post plan just a little bit less strong comparatively to Real just being able to get out with their life, just was too much middle of the map coverage for Team War not be able to combat all the way through. So Rocker Academy breaking the mold, get themselves that 1-round lead.
Media trades coming through here. It felt like Real had really dug Rocker Academy a good start towards this search and destroy round, but immediate trade now from War is going to put them back in towards the conversation. Bigger problem though is the player that did fall. It was Denzer, and he carried the bomb towards the middle of the map. So Team War going to go on a retrieval mission now, you have to imagine. Maple will succeed in that mission. The information is there. Look at Sukri with this little gap towards the back tower. The information is most certainly here for Rocker now.
Oh, the stun's going to connect. He knows that Maple's here. He's going to go for the chow. He's going to stop the bomb from being planted, but the communication's going to be there that Wardy needs help. Harry needs to come back over here to assist this. And the Rocker Academy players also need to rotate to make sure that this bomb not only doesn't get recovered, but also doesn't go down.
Just that information, isn't it? That's what War are struggling with, the knowledge that Rocker Academy have in this round. Maybe they can do something here, especially as the 1v1 now hasn't exactly concluded. Over on the other side, it gives Harry guidance to try and take on Metals. Unfortunately, that gunfight doesn't go his way, and now Wardy 1v2. Can he move through this bomb site unscathed? He can get this first kill. It will be huge. There you go. Now a 1v1. 7 seconds left. Lucky knows all he needs to do is stop Wardy from planting the bomb. The shots go down. Lucky knows he's done his job perfectly, and Wardy has to chase. Doesn't have the time. Really well played there in that 1v1.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you're Wardy, right, when you initially find that trade, what are your two options? Do you try to go back and watch the flank along with Harry, knowing that it very much so could have been flanked all the way through those stairs? Or do you just try to immediately go collect that bomb off the trade, and extend the round to 45 seconds, knowing that Harry was going to overwatch that play. Try to bait out a couple of kills. Maybe just try to find those last few required to be able to win the round, but simply was not meant to be. Rocker Academy now win 2 more in a row. Going to put themselves up 2 rounds here in the search.
Rocker Academy back towards that 2-round advantage. And they make it 3. Have to deal with Harry, who's in that advanced position, and Metal spots him out, gets the kill. This is a dangerous position for Team War to be in. They don't have control over the site just yet. Fortunately for them, though, Rocker hasn't actually planted the bomb. And this will work in their favor. Can they retake the site? You've got to be careful. Real right round the corner, and he's just spotted out. Wardy, there you go. Ding dong. It's me. Real's going to win the fight, and now for Maple and Denza, a 2 versus 4. This is a really tough one to be in.
They're going to have to do this with automatons as well. And I think just by jumping, yeah, Real probably ended up at least seeing them. Have to back down from that positioning going forward. Metals with that bomb says, hey, that's a lot of focus over towards B. I'm just going to go ahead and get the hell out of there. Just plant this over at A. See Maple even from the X-ray just not too far away from this, but they didn't cover all their flanks. So Dens is in from behind. He might just be able to keep them trapped with Maple on the opposite side.
B3 for Maple. Those first shots ring out, and well, this one was not over yet. Oh, he switches over to Real for the second. If he manages to kind of L-trigger there, maybe play his life against that first gunfight, that's definitely a possibility there for Team War, but it just doesn't happen. And Rocker Academy continue to impress here in S&B.
Just their execution coming all the way through. Their plan of attack and being able to get that early information is everything as well. It's just that one extra step that Team War put themselves in to try to take those advanced positionings, like what you saw from Harry over by that tractor, and then also from a secondary player also over by that cut was Wardy. Just their barrel sticking just a little bit too far forward, and Real collects off that information. No map point here for Rocker Academy. It's for their defense. Stuns, nades, everything else you like it. Team War playing this very respectable life. Wardy has to clear away this A bomb site, knowing that Denza needs some assistance if anything goes a little bit too haywire outside of University.
Agree. Takes down Denza, and now this makes this infinitely hard, doesn't it? That bomb is sat right down in the middle of A. Or have got to go deep into the Rocker Academy defense to retrieve it. And you just know that Rocker are going to be watching every single line of sight perfectly, aren't they? There's the immediate trade coming through. The numbers just still not in favor of Team War. It's round this game slipping away from them at every single angle. And Real gains the information again. The call be made here towards his teammates that, hey, these guys are now on the A site. Wardy gets this bomb down. It becomes possible, but as Harry falls, I don't think so anymore. Wardy has to take a more direct approach here towards this 1v3, and those shots going out. Well, going to reveal his position. Does he actually get away here? I think he does, but has he been seen?
Going to be breaking through some walls. The information Metal's going to catch him in a drift in mid-tack sprint as well. Didn't need to play too aggressively if you're the defense, knowing that they had to make the move with about 18 seconds remaining. Again, Wardy had to try to force out a bomb plant to extend the round in a 1v odd situation. Rocker Academy, again, just so decisive off the rip of every single round. I mean, even Real as well. I mean, just taking those forward positionings, defense and offensively as well, which is waiting for the opportunity for one of their ARs, one of the secondary, if not just a teammate, to be there with them to at least maybe throw out a bait and switch, if not confirm, hey, that is the specific positioning for that one player. So now we can just go ahead and just completely isolate them, find those first bloods. It always felt like Rocker Academy had a numbers advantage.
Yeah, and that was, I think, the bigger problem, and it is something that when Rocker Academy are successful in Search and Destroy, which we should say, by the way, I mean, I'll discuss it in just a second at length, but, you know, Search and Destroy, this is a huge victory for them in the series, because if there's a map that's going to go War's way, I would have said it was probably going to be this one, considering it is Rocker Academy's biggest weakness. But, you know, nonetheless, again, it's the first bloods that have been so problematic. When Rocker Academy are good at Search and Destroy, it generally speaking comes down to the fact that they're always able to get first bloods. This time around, it's Metals who is just super annoying, consistently find himself in the positions that, frankly, Team War don't expect. And, yeah, 4 first bloods, Rocker Academy feeling pretty hot after that one, Andy.
Yeah, as they should be, right? I mean, walking away from the hardpoint win, we got to see just how good they are at executing all of their breaks and just continuously laying on the pressure. But in the Search and Destroy, I would say decisive as you like it. I mean, that 4-round win on Desert Sea Search and Destroy just always being able to find those first bloods, making sure that Maple was a non-benefactor. If they brought out the sniper, it was not truly felt. 5-8 total for Maple there in the search and destroy. And I mean, you can even see in the first blood columns, like who was winning more often than not. It was Metals. We got to see that continuously in our first matchup here on Clutch for Rocker Academy versus the Invincibles. Metals loves the middle of the map. It truly does feel like that Metals always has a book to return when he has to just run into university
Yeah.
continuously with offensive defensive like. Did not get away with it versus the Invincibles in our first match, but was getting away with it continuously. 4 first bloods out of the 8 rounds that were played is absolutely massive value coming through from Metals.
Alrighty, well, you got to avoid those late fees, right, Andy? That's why you're running into
True.
university so fast. I wouldn't know, to be fair. But regardless, that's map number 2 in this best of 5 done. We're going to go to a quick break where we get everything set up for map number 3, not just for this series, but for the other one that's ongoing at the moment as well. So get your cup of tea, get your crumpets out. We're still got some more Call of Duty to come right after this. Welcome back, everybody, here to Call of Duty Challenges. We're about to get into map number 3 here between Rocker Academy and Team War, the former of which is 2-0 up. Andy, this has been a thrilling series so far if you're a Rocker fan, and not so thrilling one if you're a War fan.
Yeah, a little bit frustrating, I would say. This has been for a Team War fan, a fan of these players in general, just struggling to piece things together. Again, the immediate consideration comes down to be how much practice has honestly come through since bringing in Coach Ricky, and obviously with Harry coming into the addition for this team away from a top 16 finish at Toronto. Over towards this Berlin control, though, this is an interesting map pick within its own self. We just saw Rocker Academy come through in completely punch the brakes out of the Invincibles, winning an offensive round to be able to close away that win 3-1.
Indeed, and already this is a good start, I think, in this one for Rocker Academy. They've already gone and grab B. How can they go and grab A? The question. They have one player on the flank. That's going to be Lucky, but Woody might be able to shut this one down if he's not going to be sitting in the middle of that statue in the mid-map. But here, finally, Lucky's going to be dealt with. It's Harry who's up to the task for that. But while all that emphasis on towards that one player in the back line has gone down, Rocker Academy actually snuck a couple of players on towards the point. It doesn't matter, though. War, they're there to deal with them. Nicely done from Maple, who's able to pick up 2.
Now it just comes down to being able to find more in towards the back. Actually has a really good read on a Sukri. Be able to find some damage. Maple's going to be stunned up. He's at 6 HP, but he's not stopping. He's looking for the kill. Would have been a big fifth to be able to find in a row, obviously, for streaks in that conversation, but also continuously forcing all of Rocker Academy to spawn a little bit more north, right where Sukri just spawned in at. So it's going to be Harry that picks up that positioning, while the rest of their teammates try to mitigate the pressure that Rocker Academy are starting to build middle of the map.
Rocker Academy got to find a way in towards A. Get past step number 1, which is getting past all these War players that are currently situated inside the train station. Of course, there is also Harry to contend with on the other side towards the back train yard. But look at the kill feed. It's all Team War. They're winning pretty much every single gunfight. And I think Rocker Academy now going to have to resort to something a little bit more unconventional, which is Real looking to cause some issues in the back line. He's only able to get 1, but the damage is far from over just yet. Rocker Academy, I still have 1 player that's managed to slip the net, and it's Metals. And he does have quite a lot to do, considering these War players are pushed very, very far up, and well, he gets shut down.
Yeah, Metals is going to get shut down again. Just had to play that corner, and just maybe they find a couple of exits, because the biggest issue is that Rocker Academy, other members have to move their way across the map. Team War have shaved so many lives off of Rocker Academy, not to mention all of the clock as well. About a minute 15 has been shaved away ever since that initial B zone has been captured. Just 7v14. Team War have been working this trap so wonderfully, and although Rocker Academy have been able to battle out from that northeast spawn trap situation that Harry and Maple have constantly been forcing their way into, now they're just down to 2 more respawns remaining. Last possible attempt to get over towards A.
It is. 15 seconds remaining now. Last chance saloon for this Rocker Academy roster, looking to find their way through. Here we go. Sukri and Metal's going to be the first players to do something about this. Sukri will pick up 1. Look at the second. He does actually find it now from the Real, though. Has to pick up his slack, and he just can't get it done. Sukri, well, there you go. Or Lucky, apologies, will fall. And Rocker Academy, they've been warded away from the point here. War strong on their A defense.
Yeah, and most importantly, on that A defense, they don't allow a single segment capture come all the way through. So it's just those 3 segments in total that Team War need to match, if not beat, going in towards their personal offensive round. Even more so than that, it's just how proactive they truly all were. I mean, when you're looking at players like Maple just constantly trying to put themselves in a very annoying position where the offensive team does spot out, always forcing Rocker Academy to spawn on the northeast side of the map. That set up so many players continuously for success, like Wardy on your screen, who is starting to look at this window. 3 players strong are over here, keep in mind, you all. Harry is the 1 player over at B.
And well, Harry, Maple, and Wardy going to open up here with some gunfights in their favor. So this should be an immediate B hit. They do have to be kind of careful of players swinging straight over towards A. And there is already 1 player in the form of Wardy who wants to make that progression very easy. Unfortunately for him, though, he does end up falling. So we're going to have to rest on their laurels momentarily. Yes, Denza, not comfortable to do just that. Straight on towards A to really apply some pressure here. War, they are going for a lot of options to try and make this A hit happen. Unfortunately, pretty much every single one is being shut down as Rocker winning all of their crucial engagements, but they are losing control of B carefully here.
And we saw this actually happen, and it wasn't Invincible's offensive win when they allowed it to happen. They chalked B way too early, Fury's going to go over there, throw their life away, trying to at least get that back in their favor. Would have been a crucial one because he would have denied 60 seconds. But, I mean, Rocker Academy, you're just losing so many gunfights. They're trying to play so passively that Team War are just reading them. And it's 24v18 with 2 minutes and 10 seconds being stalled out as they're already on A.
And this is a really good moment here for Team War. Look at them. They're on towards the point. Can Rocker Academy do anything about this? Sukri only able to get one, but now Lucky in from behind. He gets spotted out by Maple. No gunfights, no shots coming his way. Progress now being made. 2 ticks of progression from Team War. A couple more gunfights being won. And Rocker Academy just cannot clear it. This wall roster is pestilence for them. It's so annoying to have to deal with. And if you're Sucker in this position, you can't just sit here and L-trigger. These guys, they're about to capture A, and Harry picks up 2 huge gunfights. War continue to flood through the door. Surely Rocker Academy have to get these players away sooner rather than later. But now it's Denza looking to get some gunfights. Finally, he is shut down. Wardy, what can you do now? It is player after player, and finally, after a barrage of War players hitting the point again and again and again, a calm. But look at the life total. That is so damaging.
Gotta play perfectly for a minute and 40. Keep in mind, your Team War started that entire stint with the game clock being stalled out at 2 minutes and 10 seconds. When it finally started ticking back down, it was about 1:54. That's how long Team War were cycling players out on the zone itself. Now they're going to look to do it by way of kills alone. If not the segment progress to come all the way through. Whatever comes first, it doesn't matter. Team War are just looking so damn strong on Berlin control right now. It is absurd. The amount of times that 1, if not 2 players were finessing their life in this position and the one adjacent to where Harry's last kill just came through. It's just way too good. I mean, Rocker Academy, they need to be dealing with that. Where the stuns, where the nades, keep those players weak. Team shot their way back through. There's no reason to individually walk your way through these narrow choke points. But even more so than that, Rocker Academy threw way too many lives away just trying to get in the middle of the map, positioning within its own self. It just allowed Team War to build such a substantial lead of lives before they got the initial zone captured.
Alrighty, well, Rocker Academy here have to be flawless from here on out. They've given away a crucial round to Team War. Stunning resurgence from what we saw in maps number 1 and 2. Now for Team War. Not sending anything unnecessarily towards B just yet. Wardy will take down Metal, so an opening might just present itself sooner rather than later as Denza takes down Sukri over towards the train yard as well. That most certainly will be the case. Wardy with another one. And how are War doing this? Rocker Academy, they looked stable on the point, but War surged through. Denza with another one as well. Rocker Academy are being rocked at the moment. Away towards the spawn you go.
And they're just seemingly just barely losing any gunfights. I mean, just take a look from top to bottom on the right side of your screen. 17 and 7 for Maple. That's one of your ARs, by the way. When your Harry's going 16 and 11, Denza and Wardy can just kick their feet up and go on these massive sprees like what we have right now. Wardy on a 4. Denza also on a 4. They are just shutting down every single push that Rocker Academy have constantly been throwing at them, but they still have that segment over at B. That's completed. You would seemingly feel like that this needs to be checked. If you are Team War, that Rocker Academy should absolutely throw this away and just go for the easier of the 2 zones. But Rocker Academy are relentless, finding kills, getting themselves over by this A zone, but not without at least making sure that Metals goes over towards B and tries to work up those segments of progression.
Still a chance here in this round of Rocker Academy. They seem to have stabilized somewhat from the opening where War were getting kill after kill, especially as B might now have been captured. Denza's going to go for one last hurrah on towards the point. And I tell you what, it's Denza. It's definitely not one last hurrah. There'll be more points to try and hold on towards A. B has fallen though. Now the kill's starting to come through from Rocker Academy. Perhaps an opening to swing straight over towards A, but Wardy will slow it down momentarily here. Metals and Lucky both fall foul to his auto. And now for Team War. In towards the point they go. Rocker Academy. Gonna try and take a direct approach here. Metals towards the outside, looking for the first blood on towards Denza. It would be nice if he could get it. It would definitely open up an opportunity here for Rocker Academy. Here we go. The player's flying. Metals gonna betray his teammate. Denza gonna take down 2, and War, well, they deal with it.
Yeah, forcing out the team kill there from Metals, who was trying to do 2 birds with 1 stone, was trying to at least make sure the kill comes through, but also trying to stall out that clock. 8v13, 5 life lead in favor of the defense. They can zone them away, knowing that it could either be the game clock or the kills alone. Rocker Academy need to throw themselves at this A zone, try to stall out that clock, or they lose map 3.
Look, Rocker Academy, they still have a chance to get back into this one. As you say, that chance quickly dwindling away. Light is being snuffed out of this round. Metals maybe could be the playmaker in this one. He plays this perfectly, but he gets caught off guard, checking too many corners. He's just so nervous about where the player could be, and he doesn't actually find Maple. Now Maple Real could be the playmaker here for Rocker Academy. If they clear the point and get on towards it, they could still win this round, but the shot's now starting to fly out. Harry responsible for that. Wardy wins his one as well with 10 seconds left. It just doesn't look probable, does it? Sukri, Metals, can either of them do something? Both of them will fall. And how about that for a response in a series which has been all Rocker Academy Team War with a blazing control victory?
That's just impressive pacing coming out from Team War. Again, losing both maps 1 and 2 in excruciating fashion. The map number 2, a whole lot more than the first. But to come out, just absolutely guns blazing, just making sure that everybody is more than aware that this is your Season 2 Elite Champions. Well, the core 3 of it anyway. They can do it with the best. The pacing, absolutely never an issue when it comes down to those players. Maple just sat there and just was having a laugh continuously as everybody was just running in their line of sight. And this was all just being kind of funneled and focused from players like Wardy and Denza, who were going after spree after spree. It really felt like every single time we were on one of their POVs, it was yet another 3 spree for one of the SMGs of this Team War roster, making sure that all of Rocker Academy felt so much pressure from all the line of sights being held by Harry and Maple, and just were playing into the hand that they have some outclassment when it came down to the SMGs. Metals going 9 and 24, being an on benefactor on a map like Berlin, hardpoint or control, excuse me, is just excruciating to feel as an AR, trying to get yourself in further positioning to try to build more openings for a player like Lucky that we saw have a great map 1. Did not have the same value because their running mates of both Real Metals just simply could not lock it down.
Yeah, it felt like Rocker Academy, something that we've seen from them in the past. It's one of their key elements of plays on a map, such as Berlin, is you're able to get those players, digging deep in from behind, consistent flanks that most of the time seem to work. But War, every single time Rocker Academy attempted it, they shut it down, right? And again, I think that's reflected in the final scorelines for players like Real, like Lucky, who again are generally speaking the players to make those flanks happen. They get shut down there, and Team War will be feeling pretty confident after that map. They finally able to get themselves on the board now. We move over towards a Bacage hardpoint for map number 4. Andy, map number 1. It was, I would say, a relatively close one between these two teams, and that does bode well for War, who still look, I would say they look a lot better now than they did at the start of the series.
Well, the SMGs are looking a hell of a lot more confident. I will
Yeah.
say that much, Brody. And that's going to be massive strides when you're thinking about it going in towards a Bocage hardpoint, where again it's going to be that triple SMG setup. Again, you can get away with two ARs at certain points in time, but I mean Maple Harry with an SMG just to be able to pick up more of that pace, or play the 2 ARs to be able to deny more presence on the map from other SMGs from Rocker Academy's side. It will be quite interesting because this is a map mode combination for Team War. Even in the previous Elite, did work out quite well for them. They,
Yeah.
they went 3-1. They obviously had what was it, like one close win versus Nixa. Their only loss was by 4 points, and I believe that was end up to Soleo's Signs, where it just came down to a very crucial gunfight that from one lane that wasn't being watched, and the flank came through, and then they broke inside P3 for those last few seconds required for themselves. But I think you're going to be feeling pretty darn good for Team War going in towards this map, again, because the SMGs seem to be clicking a whole lot more. They're setting up a pace that just Rocker Academy just seemingly had no answer for, especially walking away from that map number 3.
Now, the one thing I will say is, even though Rocker Academy, their map mode record didn't look all that great in Season 3 here on Bacage Hardpoint, it did look good in that matchup versus Invincibles, and that is something we'll take into account here to move in towards this map number 4. Again, War, they seem to have woken up from their slumber. Could they pull off a reverse sweep in the series? I don't want to say anything, because generally speaking, I am probably the worst defender out of the lot of us, Andy, for caster
True.
curses. I do it all the time. I'm not going to do it again here because I know for a fact that War would be very frustrated with me if I was to say anything. So who knows? It is definitely on the cards though, and we'll see whether or not they can get it done. They're on fire right now, and they're going to be feeling a lot of momentum, I think, in their court after that map number 3. Because again, a 3-0 is not something to sniff your nose up, especially with how confident they must be feeling about how well they played that first offensive round in round number 2. So they'll be feeling pretty happy with themselves. Let's see if they can carry that one over now as we make our way in towards Bakaj. Hard point for the map number 4 in this best of 5. And yeah, remember, folks, this is just day number 1 of the competition. Season 4 of Challengers Elite. This is, we've got, tomorrow worth of action for Europe. We've still got North American games tonight as well, which is crazy. I'm so excited to see that. We've got the first South American team making their way into Challengers Elite, which is going to be amazing. I cannot wait to see what they're able to do. And of course, all the roster changes and such that are going on in North America. It's always a fun time. So a lot of Call of Duty still to be had. This is just day number 1. It's been an awesome day already.
Yeah, it really has been. I mean, again, when you're thinking about it, we've had a lot of important matchups here in round 1 of Season 4 of the Elite. Feel like we're saying this all the time, truly, that if you could win your matches earlier, it puts a certain lack of pressure on your shoulders going in towards the end of the run and, well, towards playoffs as well. Just try to get that map series record. Just try to get that overall record as high as possible. Team War, starting off on the favorite side of the map. They send more players down towards the river bend rather than Maple just watching that A plat. It does quite well for them because now, with Maple finding that first kill here, Brody can push up and try to keep Rocker trapped on this side of the map.
Maple still looking to play his life on that side of the map, but that's not where all the action is going down right now. It's going straight on towards the hard point, straight towards the riverbed side, and Rocker Academy trying to fight from those areas of the map. Real at the moment, I think, just doing his best to keep Team War at bay to make sure they're not earning any more time. It's quite a bit of bleeding to be had for Team War right out the gate here, but now Rocker Academy, they're going to be the ones in, and they are being very careful, Team War here, not to allow anybody to filter through that willow tree, or in through the tree side, excuse me. They have done a really good job of that, and I really like that strengthening, coming out from Team War to make sure they hold them towards the rotation.
Yeah, just make sure that they bunker up for that rotation coming through. It's almost like what they were doing continuously on that A-zone defense that we just saw on the Berlin control. But is it going to pay off because Rocker Academy are already flying in towards the back? You got a player like Sukari already inside of 10. What does that mean for the spawns? It's going to force Team War to spawn further down south over at the end of that riverbed. That's going to force Metals to be out-positioned there from Team War, who collapsed on that play. They continue to make their strides here on P2, already getting themselves a good handful of time.
Team War, as you say, they're getting a lot of time off the back of this gamble to make sure they focus on the PT rotation. It's worked out very well so far. Can they continue to nail this one home? Real's going to still continue to fight here for what is 20 seconds worth of time, and you cannot blame him as he picked up 3 in a row, but a nice stop coming out from Wardy, and you have to imagine now with the way that Team War was spawned up over towards the riverbed, they might send a couple of players towards Old, and that is exactly what they're going to do, but they have got at least one player focused on the rotation. Harry has got all the way deep here. And he influenced the spawns? That's the question. I have to imagine he should be able to. And there you go. Those squad spawns, beautiful as ever. They will come through. Harry, very happy about that spawn flip. And now it's about getting into the hard point.
A player zoning away at the middle of the map as well. And Sukri actually spawns in for 2, essentially. But Harry reads it, finds that kill. Now you can take all your focus in towards the front. This is all while Wardy is actually watching the exit from those hedge spawns, but he's only able to find one. Rocker Academy are able to deal with all the players in from tools, in from the front so far. The numbers might just be too overwhelming for the rest of the hill.
But now I'm Real, 5 in a row. He moves forward, but also now Wardy on 5 of his own. So now 1v1 up top here. Wardy hunting down Real, and he will actually get it for number 6. Nicely done there. Big stop coming through from Wardy, but the kill's now going down. War will be the ones inside the hard point. And it will still be Rocker Academy spawning out towards that back hedge area. This is a really good position for War to find themselves in. Harry's going to look to try and hold these guys at bay as they spawn up over towards that hedge side. Able to cut the map effectively momentarily here as War will be the first team to touch in at the new rotation. Can they hold it now? That's the next question. Rocker Academy find their way through. Metals through the front. Also, keep an eye on Real. He's looking to put a push in from behind. He is pivotal in the play as well as they both win their 1v1s. And Rocker Academy quick disrupt here.
Yeah, a little split spawn situation will occur, so Harry's going to be over by that A-plat. He'll be cut down while the rest of Team War are still spawning in over by 10. Big focus in the middle of the map as well. Wardy trying to finesse their life will just be too many guns looking at him. Lucky pieces together, too. the guy that had a fantastic Berlin hardpoint versus this Team War roster. You're hoping for them to be able to have a similar amount of success coming in towards P4 or into map number 4 and P4 for that matter, where SMGs need to be absolutely on point. But Team War have been, again, just resting on this pacing that Wardy has been bringing to the table. And it was Denza in the last map, Brody. This time it's Harry that is helping things out of the front line.
Indeed, War starting to feel really confident in this game. 40 points in the lead. Rocker Academy, though, they are the ones in control of the spawns. For new, they're the ones in control of the river hardpoint, at least for now. Glide bomb now coming down from Wardy. It's not actually going to get anything, but the information should be there. Question is, can War actually act on it? That's the question. Harry's starting to push on through now. Also has the support of Wardy, and you can see them looking to entrench themselves in from behind. But Rocker Academy, the timer's still going up in their favor. Sukri and Metals winning these supporting gunfights. Denza dealt with up top. And again, Team War, they invest the streak, and it doesn't work out.
No, it's not going to work out. Rocker Academy actually just counteract that pressure with some south lane action of their own, but Metals can't find too much more. Going in towards the second set of rotation here in about 15 seconds or so. Team War want to keep laying on the pressure. They felt pretty darn comfortable about those 40 points, but Rocker able to at least mitigate that damage just to about 20 or so, going in towards another set of hard points. Rocker Academy have really started to heat things up all off the rally and presence that Real's bringing to the table. Sukri, big one over inside of P5, but not before the new set of rotations come all the way through.
Well, still a slight advantage here over their opposition. Can they hold it, though? That's the question. Denza now going to be in towards Newt. Still got the better side of the map, and that assists them quite extensively on the P2 of the last set of rotations. I think the Team War, therefore, the objective at the moment remains just as clear as it did back then. Make sure you do not lose spawns. Make sure you do not allow Rocker Academy in towards P1. And both of those objectives, they're ticking those boxes right now. Every single gunfight is pretty much going their way. They're making sure that Rocker Academy do not cross that 50-yard line, and you can see them kind of positing for it. But nonetheless, now Real able to win a couple of gunfights here is Real and Metals, and a path may now open here for Rocker Academy to push in from behind. But again, every single time, War, they're winning these gunfights.
Yeah, great recognition coming through from Wardy. Those rotations were starting to come all the way through, but they lose the ones across that A lane. So now Team War are going to spawn all the way over by the B, S, and D, but they are flying across the map. There's one on top of the A plat itself. Real needs to pick that up. And they're also finding kills on the backside of 10. Lucky's still alive inside the hard point. Team War still have those close spawns in full effect. Rocker Academy, they're going to be more than aware of this, but this has been a great stretch of 20 points or so.
Yeah, this is really good, actually, from Rocker Academy here. They managed to find their way through. Can War do anything about this? They're still spawning in the back line. Harry now should be able to find his way on towards the hard point, and now they can start earning the time that was promised to them off the back of the rotation. But good break from Rocker. Good hold for the first 30 seconds or so. We'll put them right back in towards this game, right back competitive with this Team War roster. Metals now looking to disrupt the scrap time. Has a very good opportunity to do it here as that stun lands right at Maple's feet. Will remove him from the hard point and sends War back a few notches, a few feet on for the potential rotation. Rocker Academy, they will be the first team here. And Lucky watching from top. Should be able to get a couple of players off rotation here as War make their way through the mid. Lucky has got himself into a dastardly position. Able to pick up one, not going to get the second. So now War through the front of the hard point they go. How ready is Metals for this one? He has to be ready because he's all on his lonesome. Gets shut down. Rocker Academy unearthed from the hard point.
It just always feels like that Rocker Academy are knocking at the door of this 40-point lead that Team War keep having for themselves, but Team War keep on inserting themselves. They keep on going back 40 for 20. Rocker Academy need a convincing break, but they need to deny more and more hardpoint time. Metals off the melee. Real there for 2 more. That's going to be the break for the 25 seconds, but you need to hold this. And most importantly, going into the rotation over towards 4, you need to make sure that you deny Team War more time. You need to keep it contested.
And this is still big time, and Sukri and Lucky still going to fight this one. War is sending a couple of players for what is ultimately scrap time, but it's not scrap time. You want to give away. Wardy comes through, picks up 2. Rocker Academy should still soak up that time, but it's a couple of seconds more that they do not get, ultimately. So now, 20 points behind in this game as War look to send us towards a game number 5. They're going to be the first ones to touch here towards Barn. Can they hold on the rotation? They've got players sat in positions, making sure that Rocker Academy do not get past the 50-yard line. One of those players being Wardy, who is currently sitting, waiting for somebody to cross his line of sight, and there he goes. He will strike on towards one, and it just makes these guys nervous at this point that they can't actually find him. Wardy doing so much at the moment. Just keep Rocker Academy at bay, but maybe Sukri can be the one to break metals here too. Rocker Academy takes about 30 seconds, but they find their way in.
But again, Brody, this is going to be another hard point that, yeah, if Rocker Academy still hold the back 20, it's yet another 40 and 20 hard point split. And Team War with this leader's advantage, they're going to be feeling pretty darn confident with that. Yeah, they're sending more players to try to finesse for scrap time. Rocker Academy trying to hold the middle of the map. They should be able to find the last kill of Wardy inside the hard point. There's that trade to come through. So 5 seconds will go over towards Rocker Academy. Now we're down to the lead for about 30. This is where you need to be proactive. Lucky's in towards the back, but doesn't see that Maple is down here by L. So the spawns will not be under threat, not unless Real can make some magical play happen, but the rest of this team is still across the map.
And this needs to be a very quick break coming out from Rocker Academy here. Decisive. Real's been spotted towards the back line, so that secret weapon is down the gutter. It doesn't matter. They might be able to take this one full frontal assault. There we go. Sukri, Metals, and Lucky each win their ones. And now they can just spawn trap Team War towards the back line here if they execute correctly. Unfortunately, Sukri loses his initial 1v1. There's still one more player to deal with, but it doesn't matter for a player like Real, who has been lights out today in day number 1 of Season 4 here. Team War will continue to be held at bay for Rocker Academy. This has been a brutal break.
And instead of trying to play for the spawns again, because they failed 2 times over, they're just going to hold this from the front, going in towards another set of hard points. But Team War recognized that. They're able to finally get through Plat. They're in through the middle of the map, where there was one player continuously for Rocker Academy watching that flank. Now going in towards another set of hard points. Lead down to about 20 or so. This is where you need to start collecting a lot of these kills if you Rocker Academy, because you need to make sure that Team War do not get set up as comfortably as they were at the beginning of the second.
Team War looking to set up that exact position that we were talking about. And they get it done. Rocker Academy looking to find their way through. They're just being so cautious about any players that are lingering around. Top Grandmas around in shed. But none of them able to do anything just yet. And it's going to be a good clearance coming out from Rocker Academy now. You're really just looking to push towards P2 if you can. But one player has slipped the net. I think Rocker are aware of that fact, but they don't know where they are. And Denza could cause so many issues for the spawns. You have to imagine that flip will come through. And there it is. Denza might have just made the play.
Not even be able to make the play, but you still have about 15 seconds before that rotation really solidifies itself, so there's still more time to find kills. And that same could be said for Team War, so that way you can deny Rocker Academy one of these lanes for free. 3 kills, a team kill also comes through Team War. It does not matter. They are holding the 50-yard line. They'll be set up for 2.
Just need 19 seconds to Team War. Rocker Academy, that's 2 hits, 2 chances to break on through this hard point. Got to get it done. Wardy going to be crucial for the hold here. He's able to pick up 1. The trade started to come on through. Now just 1 from the front of the hard point. They get shut down. Can Lucky do anything about this? At this point, if you're Rocker Academy, you can't afford to just sit here and wait. You have to start making these heroic plays happen, and these players are getting sniffed out. Nicely done from Wardy for the outplay. Sukri gonna fall as well, and Team War, I think they might have done it. They might have sent us to a game number 5. Can anybody from Rocker Academy touch? They're gonna fly towards the hardpoint. Metals tries to find his way in. He's able to pick up 1. Team War, though, with the gunfights to close out the map. It's a game 5.
Game 5, the workings of a reverse sweep absolutely on the cards for Team War, who through the past 2 maps now have looked so much more comfortable with one another, so much better execution coming through with what they are trying to do off of the positions that are currently being held. And Rocker Academy, albeit they argued they did not go down without a fight, it just really feels like how hot this Team War roster started off that map. The same thing that we were talking about from round to round, the 3 rounds that they took on that Berlin control. They started off every single round just as hot. It took Rocker Academy a little bit of time to heat up for themselves, but it was not consistently there from each hill to hill throughout the entirety of the first set. And hell, even through the beginning of the second, we always saw those 40s for 20s in favor of Team War. But where Rocker Academy kind of faltered is when they were trying to contest for the hard point, battling over top of it. They never really had players in position in the front side of the hard point to zone away players continuously from contesting. That's why Team War was able to build such a emphatic lead throughout the majority of that hard point on Bocage. But still, for Rocker Academy, that is an unfortunate mistake to come all the way through. But Team War absolutely thriving in it. The SMGs just continuing on with the same antics that we saw from that Berlin control. A combined 61 kills for Wardy and Denza.
It's just Wardy and Denza, right? It's so hard to deal with if you're Rocker Academy. And, well, yeah, I think just generally speaking, when we're talking about that, I know we kind of expect Bacage Hardpoint to be a scrappy map mode combination. It always is, right? I think that was just as scrappy as you could possibly get between the two teams, even though the scoreline is a commanding war victory towards the end. You know, these guys were constantly battling at one another. And in the end, Team War able to take it. They are sending us to a game number 5, Andy. We didn't really know if this was going to happen, considering what the halfway point in this series, 2 maps deep, Rocker Academy. They look like a dominant team, that the way that they were playing, especially in that search and destroy. And I think that is the thing that looms over Team War here for this game number 5. They cannot let what happened in game number 2 happen again here. Game number 5 is on the cards, guys. Trust me, you do not want to miss it. Before we get there, though, we're going to go to a break. When we return, we've got the game number 5 here between Team War and Rocker Academy. Welcome back, everybody, here to Call of Duty Challenges. It's game number 5 time, and we apologize for missing the very beginning of this first round of S&D. It's Rocker Academy taking on Team War, or rather, Sukri taking on Team War at the moment in this 1 versus 4. Feels like one of the good luck, have fun moments, because he has no control over the bomb either.
I mean, they know where he is, too. You can just see player number 5 is Wardy's position down here. Hey, how's it going? Sukri is going to get challenged. Actually is able to find the kill, but still needs to be able to retrieve that bomb, forcing out the 1v3. Look, the year before, they are of Sukri's caliber. Let's just not give this guy 3 more isolated 1v1s, yeah? We agree on this?
I mean, he might get him, to be fair, right? I mean, if
he fishes him out, that says more about Sukri's ability to be able to fish out 1v1s. Soldier's going to get thrown. Should be collapsed on here. No reason that Sukri should walk away from this. Okay, all right. I was worried. I've seen it happen before. It's not going to be the case this time.
That happens. If he pulls out one more of those players with like 40 seconds left on the clock, I'm more concerned, to be honest. We have no idea how the beginning of that round went, but regardless, Sukri is denied a 1 versus 4. It would have been nice to see, wouldn't it? Nonetheless, doesn't happen. Team War kick things off strong here in the search and destroy. Now they're on the offense. Thing is, if they want to take this one towards A, generally speaking, they have to make sure they get control over ruins pretty quickly. You can't afford to be pushed back, and that hasn't exactly happened. You can already see Rocker Academy have got players back grasp, but Metals will be taken out, and what a play coming out from Denza there to just slide on out and win that gunfight.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about an ego slide right there. Just immediately had the centering, so now they're going to take their virtues. They found those picks, middle of the map, over by A. They're going to leave one player behind to watch the flank. That's Wardy. Now Real is the sole defender over here by B, has some work cut out for them, but unbeknownst to Team War, you still have that flank that could be manifested here from Lucky.
4v2, Rocker Academy here, I think, with not the numbers. They don't even have those numbers together as well. We need to see those individual plays, and Lucky gets caught with his pants down. Real in a 1 versus 4. Good luck. Sukri couldn't do it in the last round. I very much doubt with a timer on the round that Real will be able to do this one. Although I could eat my words. Okay, it's all good. My reputation remains as stellar as ever.
Not when 3 players are just straight sprinting at him, no. We need, like, the most preemptive grenade I've ever seen in my life for that one to happen, but, yeah, again, you know, it's these first blood engagements, the information trade there, Team War able to find them, barring any sort of crazy crackdown antics coming from Denza in that slideshow. By range, keep in mind you, but the Rocker Academy just need to try to deal with this sooner rather than later. The offensive round will showcase 2 players here for Rocker Academy, kind of putting themselves closer towards P5. Maybe Team War trying to flank all the way through, not going to be the case, but the set nade from Lucky will be good to take down Maple over by that box.
Man down for Team War. At the very least, they do have control over the A site and B as well to boot. But it is shaky ground to be on, isn't it? Especially as Wardy doesn't really have much help or much promise of a trade if he falls. Nonetheless, Rocker Academy is still taking this one pretty slow. I think the idea might well be just to unearth Harry from that position top radio to get more control. And that control is most certainly theirs now, especially as Real has made his way towards mid-map.
Real's going to actually push all the way through Church. Wonder if he's going to take this opportunity to try to clear away the top side. Really just comes down to whether or not Lucky was able to confirm anything. Doesn't matter. Real hits it, finds it.
One more. Trade starting to come on through now. 2v2 go, though. Wardy and Denza winning their 1v1s. Oh, Wardy almost turns them towards Lucky. Now the 1v2 for Denza here.
Silence pop. It's going to come in from behind. Question is there going to be any timings offered? You got 1 player top Church, 1 player just playing outside of you.
Denza. The shot's in. 30 seconds left. And, well... I know where these guys are right now. Real and Lucky sitting, just waiting the bomb. And I think for Denza here in this position, he's 3-0 right now. Might just want to wait this one out.
Yep. Already cleared a lot of angles. Knowing that there's probably 25, maybe 27 more. I don't know. I actually don't know. But there were a lot more angles that you would have to clear in the middle of the map. So Denza just going to hold this 3. Got rounds to play with as well. Rocker finally putting themselves on the board here. And again, you always have to just tip your hat to the middle of the map. The rollouts, the stuns, really, really good. Coupling that along with Lucky set nade over the top, knowing that you're going up against the Maple to have to deal with what the potential snipe could look like, knowing that an AR is going to be over there as well. Oh, Rocker Academy now looking to at least consistently keep that lane in their favor, if not constantly looking in the middle of the map to be able to get these first bloods, to be able to hold their numbers advantage. But I love this coming out from Team War. They don't want anything to do with the middle of the map. They're just going to all go through P5.
This is not a bad play call coming out from Team War to try and extend their advantage here in the search and destroy. They do have to contest with Metals, though. Somebody surely is watching, and no, well, Metals able to get one, but the immediate trade does come through. It doesn't matter too much, though, for Team War. They're very happy with the position. They've got control of the site, and the bomb will now be down. 3v2. Real and Sukri. Gotta get control of radio. Control of church as quickly as you like.
Throw some shots on the backside of that truck at the very least. These two players are stacked up top, but it's such an annoying position. Harry was up here the entire time on top of the patio, even throws a little bit of a quick little 90-degree check. Able to deal with the player coming back up towards the staircase. It's just insane. We talked about this in previous seasons with this Team War roster, about how their synergy just really works on top of each other. Their executions in Search and Destroy and recency of the elites going back even Season 3 and Season 2 have just been absolutely stellar. Understanding what they're looking for time and time again and just making sure that they hit it all the way through. 4 now for Denza. Team War will extend their lead back to 2.
Oh, Harry going to draw first blood in this one. The immediate trade's coming out here. Nice set nade from Sukri, but the result, regardless, is the fact that Team War have pushed Rocker Academy back. Good news, though, for Rocker Academy is War have no presence whatsoever on A, and I think Sukri is about to realize that.
Information is going to be immediately conveyed. But the problem is that the timing can still be there in the middle of the map, so Lucky can't plant this bomb. He's going to have to trust that Sukri's going to watch from behind. There's the first. He should be traded out here. Harry's going to chase it 1v1.
Lucky's just spotted him as well. I think Lucky wants to play this one super carefully. Give anything away for free. Harry. Have a couple of options. That stun being thrown out towards A should give Harry the information that A is definitely the option for the moment, at least. 30 seconds left, though. Lucky does have quite a lot of choices to where he wants to go. Quite a lot of map to do it. Harry's going to make the right call for the moment, at least.
Yeah, but Lucky needs to make a decision here. He needs to get over towards his bomb. He needs to be able to plant this. Harry could also try to fish out a timing, but he's going to guess wrong.
It's just tough, isn't it, in this 1v1. There you go. Harry's now going to check the site. Where does Lucky go on the post plant? They're just going to pass each other. I don't think Harry saw him at all. So now Harry's got to go on the hunt here. Where does Lucky go?
Such a bold call. Oh, Lucky just might have made the play. He checks the bomb, and he's going to full wrap around the backside. Harry needs to hop this. But now Lucky needs to go. He needs to come check this bomb. It's currently being defused. Is he going to get here in time to see it? Is Harry completely shrouded? He gives it up. Oh, no. Oh, I thought that Lucky made the play. I thought he was going to fully commit towards going all the way down to the ramp to extend the line of sight. But, woo, what a call by Harry just to hop it at 24.
Jeez, Harry made the call. And you know what? The best part about that is Harry now preserving a streak. He doesn't die in that 1v1. Gets the bomb plant, or get to bomb defuse, excuse me. 4-1 up now. This is looking very good if you're a Team War fan for that perspective. Reverse sweep. Rocker Academy need to get their stuff together here. At the very least, the defense has gone pretty well so far. They haven't lost anybody, and Sukri's going to draw first blood.
It's going to stop the offense considerably. Trying to fly back over towards the middle of the map. So now you're going to be looking at Maple. Does he drop down over by Well? Yes, he will. Try to help some of the middle map coverage at Wardy's also looking at top fire.
We'll have to do this one man down. Denza might be able to catch Metals off guard. Nobody's covering him, and he does exactly that. Nicely done from Denza, and that's going to scare Sukri away as well. We'll have a lot of map positioning. Denza has pushed through all on his lonesome. Could absolutely be a weapon here for Team War if he positioned himself correctly. Just depends where he wants to go. War have also got players inside maps. Do they move correctly?
And this with the bomb, too. If he dies back here, that would be so big. But he catches Real on a timing. that it was going to be inside a church, and now Maple with the setup inside P5. It's too good, Brody. Rocker Academy, they have sprung the trap.
Ah, dearie me. Rocker Academy falling apart at the moment. Lucky 1v3. Would be sensational if he could get it done. Gets the first kill versus Maple. So now just Wardy and Denza left on the hit list. Gonna wrap all the way around the back to make this one happen. Can catch Denza off guard. Denza is just simply not looking, but it's whether or not Lucky actually checks this. And Denza, his spidey senses were tingling. He will win that one. And Team War here, almost flawless in the game number 5.
Simply can do no wrong. I mean, even being first blood in the middle of the map, it was systematic. Maple gives up P5, makes sure nobody's pushing all the way through, comes up through well to help out Denza, who needs to be the aggressor play. Because Wardy was already top fire. He can't give up that positioning watching in the middle of the map. Maple's already watching the cross for the trade coming out from you. Denza makes the play, gets a kill on their side of you, and then has the safety to get back out. From there, Team War was just able to find the time to get on the backside of B, and Denza continually making the aggressive plays. That's why you have Team War just in the 4-round lead.
Finally, some good news here for Rocker Academy. They draw that first blood. They have basically full control over the site. What they do with it now that counts, isn't it? Been in this position before. Utility being thrown out here by Rocker Academy to try and get a sense as to where Team War are at, and that information is working out perfectly. Results now in the 1v4 from Maple. And yeah, good luck with this one. That bomb is going down.
Maple finds one, sees one laying prone, but the double chow's going to be there outside of you. It would have been impressive, to say the least. And yeah, this is almost 1-for-1 from what we saw from Rocker Academy, actually, back on that Desert Seed Search and Destroy, comparatively to what we've seen here on the Tuscan, that a lot of it was Real, you know, dictating the pace over by that B lane. You also had a lot more antics from Metals through the middle of the map. You know, obviously, two maps don't play remotely similar. Some similarities, sure, but Rocker Academy need to be able to get a pep in their step, start dictating more of the pace throughout the entirety of the map, because Metals being a 1-7 right now just ain't it.
Look at this from Rocker Academy on the defense. They've done what they've done round after round, but again, they get aggressive. Real is punished for it. There is a trade this time, though. Metal's going to be responsible for that, but Metal's getting aggressive, and it works out perfectly. Sukri with another one as well. One more player, and Rocker Academy refused to die. 3 rounds on the bounce now.
Again,
3 rounds, excuse me.
Yeah, two rounds on the back. You got excited. You know, I love the phrase, but it's all right. We'll get there soon.
I tried, mate. I tried.
Your best is enough. But anyway, it's one of those things again. That first blood comes through from Harry, top fire, but that doesn't deter Rocker Academy from just flying at the enemy team. Metals gets activated, finds himself 2. Sukri also never an AR. It's afraid to get his hands dirty. Finds 3 now in a row. And look at this call from Rocker Academy. 3 players as you like over by A. Just throw some stuns and nades. But this is a bait play for information. Team War have taken an aggressive positioning over by Monument. It's Wardy on the head glitch.
Rocker Academy most certainly barring 4 and 8. But Maple putting shots in a multitude of players at the moment. Wardy, I think, wants to make good on that promise. And, well, I think this is definitely doing it. Almost turns on towards Metals. But now they know where Metals is as well. 1v3 would be looking for an ace in the round. At least he's not dealing with any immediate threats.
Yeah, but he's got a sub, and he knows that Maple is over by this lane. Stun's going to come through, and because it wasn't connected, Maple actually backs down off of him. Now Metals through the middle of the map. Harry didn't see him. He's in.
Metals can make the play. What's the reaction going to be like? Because you got to imagine he gets this one versus Harry. How quick is the reaction from Denza, who is close by?
Oh, no!
Metals! No! I mean, it's a 1v3. It's like, it's pretty low in the list of possibilities of things that could happen anyway. But that's gutting. That's gutting. To let that one slip through the cracks like that. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, I mean, hey, welcome to the reverse sweep. Crazy.
Yep, reverse sweep comes through. Look, to walk away from anything besides just how unfortunate of an event that just was. Yeah, Team War, I mean, you know, they rectify some of the biggest issues that they were having going back through that Desert Sea Search and Destroy. You know, they're dictating more of the pace throughout the early stages of these rounds. You have the ARs just as aggressive as you may like it, just trying to take these first blood engagements. And although you can see Rocker Academy even answering back with four of their own comparatively to the five of Team War, it's just one of those things again that Team War are not afraid to be able to play more clinical and backpack style of search and destroy, where they're enabling one player continuously through the early rounds and really through the majority of them. You got Denza 9-3 with only about 900 damage, sure, but only had 3 traded kills along the way. There's a multitude of rounds that you could go back to that you could really just sit there and say that, well, Denza made the play. But
Yeah.
it was the way that the rest of the team were, those that were alive, enabled to make sure that Denza had the coverage to make those aggressive play happen, knowing that they weren't getting immediate information out of what stuns and nades that they had left. Rocker Academy are just going to play corners. You need to fish it out. But if Denza finds those kills, he needs to be able to have an exit for free. That was really what you felt like that Wardy, Maple, and Harry were doing continuously throughout the majority of those rounds. And even when they were down in numbers, or even the trade after the first blood came through, to make sure that one player could make the aggressive play happen, but there was always that backup plan that Team War had for that man to make the play to get out with their life.
Oh, geez, what a way to end day number one here of season 4. If that's what we're set up for, Andy, for the remainder of Challenges Elite season 4 here in Europe, I cannot wait to see what the conclusion looks like. Of course, as I said, though, that is just day number 1, and we're not even technically done with day number 1 yet. We've still got a whole other region to talk about, a ton of things to get through. Of course, technically speaking, Andy and I will not be the ones walking you guys through that. That will be Seymour and Enigma. So make sure you guys tune in very soon as we take an elongated break before we get to that one. But as I said, day number 1 for Europe is done and dusted. Of course, we're going to take a look at the standings afterwards, I presume, and see what's what. But I'm sure it's been a great day for a number of these teams already. So join us for more action tomorrow at the same time for European Call of Duty challenges here in Challenges Elite Season 4. And again, later on tonight for North America.